going to battle in Gentile Arena in Chicago to face the Ramblers, who are 11-7 on the season, 2-3 in A10 play, coming off a tough loss to Dayton. Fordham, of course, coming off its own tough loss. Many of us were present to see them lose 120-118 in a record-breaking triple overtime game to UMass. Lou, what do we need to see out of Fordham in this game against Loyola Chicago, building on what they lost last time out, to make the adjustments? What do you see them needing to do to get the win?
I think you need to see a little bit more creativity on the offensive end. You look at that UMass game, that's a game you needed to have. You had the crowd behind you, it goes to triple overtime. You lose that game, that's a game that can derail a season. So now, well, you lost that game, you can't change the course of that game, you can't change the past, but you can decide what you're going to do down the stretch here. That's a pivotal game. It's either going to be the game that you rally around and say, hey, we're not an 0-5 A10 team. We're going to rebound and be stronger from here on out. Or that's going to be the game that you go, yeah, the season ended right there. So there is a lot when you look back on that game, whether it's free throw shooting, whether it's defense, rebounding, drawing up creative plays, that Fordham should look at and go, we didn't do enough to win that game. I still think going up against the Loyola Chicago team today, winnable game. And this is a beatable A10 team, especially for where Fordham is at this stage of the season.
Fordham has had some time since last game, obviously.
A
full week, so hopefully some of the rest can help him out. One other thing to note, you brought up free throw shooting. Fordham 71.6% from the line this year. Loyola Chicago actually 65.6% from the charity stripe. 5-4 in games decided by 10 points or fewer. Fordham 4-4. So these two love to play it close. You think free throws could decide the course of this game?
I love that you pulled that stat. I love that you eyed it. I think it's a perfect stat because I think this is a game that's going down to the wire. Fordham right now not built to blow out anyone, and I think we have enough resilience when we look at that group that they're not going to get blown out in this game on the road. So I think this is, a 1-2 possession game down the stretch, likely decided by late game moments. Late game free throws could be the difference.
Last thing to note, for those unaware, Keith Urgo actually not coaching this game today. It is his assistant Trey Woodall after the school imposed a suspension on him due to recruiting violations. How much of a difference do you think that makes for them today?
Well, we'll see. I think this is a chance for them to rally around an assistant coach that they like in Trey Woodall, and also fight for a coach that they really like in Keith Urgo, who's not going to make the trip with them, obviously suspended, but a chance to show that this is a team that isn't collapsing. They're more than the news that's been around them.
Well, let's hope that you are right and the season didn't end last week. Let's hope that all that, with the loss last week, with the coaching situation, can light a fire under them and they can run with the Ramblers. We'll see if they can do just that today, as we will send it out to Gentile Arena with Nick Guzman and Chaz McAdams. You'll hear from us again at the half.
From Joseph J. Gentile Arena here in Chicago, this is Fordham men's basketball on WFUV Sports. I'm Nick Guzman alongside Chaz McAdams. Tonight's matchup is between the Fordham Rams and the Loyola Chicago Ramblers, the battle of the Jesuits. Before we get into starting lineups and all the fun here in Chicago, we had a chance to sit down with Fordham interim head coach Trey Woodall before tonight's game. Take a listen.
Nick Guzman here alongside Chaz McAdams with Fordham men's basketball interim head coach Trey Woodall. Coach, feels like a long time's passed since that triple overtime loss against UMass, a little bit of a turbulent week after that. How do you feel like the guys have responded this week in practice?
To be honest, the mentality is always just the same. Try to be the best team we could be by the end of the year. We felt like that game, we took a step in the right direction. Obviously, it wasn't the result that we wanted, but I think we saw a lot of positives from that game. And took a full team effort, so it's the positives you can take from it is, we got a full contribution from everybody, but we all feel like our guys took a step in the right direction. So,
Coach Valentine setting up a really good program out there at Loyola Chicago. They had a lot of success last year in the Atlantic 10. What are you thinking? What's your headspace in coming into this matchup?
They're the same. Just trying to be the best team we can be by the end of the year, and continue that process of just taking next step in the ladder. I think we had a great practice yesterday. We're looking to have another great practice today. I love what Coach Valentine is doing, at Loyola. I'm not surprised. Just being from the background that he comes from. His dad is a coach. His brother was obviously a pretty good player. And then, him being a GA at Michigan to an assistant coach. We actually played against each other twice in college. So he was a terrific player himself. So I'm not surprised. But we just got to get our guys prepared to go into this game or just to go into this future season, just being the best team we could be.
And Coach, in that UMass game with all the foul trouble, so many guys having to come in, Jamison, a walk-on, getting minutes there in triple overtime. What does it say about kind of this group and the next man up mentality that everyone was willing to go all in and to the depths to be able to try to compete in that game?
Well, I'm actually in a situation now.
Yeah.
Just it's a next man up mentality. Our guys just buying into that, and our mentality kind of is do what your teammates expect you to do. And Jamison had an opportunity in the game to step in and take a charge, which his teammates expected him to do. It could have been a huge moment. The call didn't go our way. I mean, it wasn't just that call that determined the outcome of the game, but that just goes to show that moment that Jamison was ready to come in and prepared to step up and make a play for his team.
Thanks, Coach.
Back here inside Gentile Arena, Nick Guzman alongside Chaz McAdams. National anthem over with, and we're just about ready to get underway here between Fordham and Loyola Chicago. Chaz, we mentioned as I introed into that coach's sound segment, it was now interim head coach Trey Woodall. That's the title with Keith Ergo serving that 4-game suspension self-imposed by Fordham University. It's going to be a different look for the Rams behind the bench.
Absolutely. Trey Woodall, been preparing all week, had some great conversations with him. Got a chance to look at practice and see what he's been all about with his team, creating a good culture, maintaining the things that Ergo has set in place. Again, it's interim, it's not new head coach. We're still looking for attitude points. We're still looking for diving on loose balls. We're still looking for deflections, offensive rebounding, still looking to be efficient, get to the line. All those things that Keith Ergo has put into this team, Trey Woodall's going to echo.
Fordham coming off that devastating triple overtime loss to UMass, 120-118 at the 100-year anniversary celebration of the Rose Hill Gym last Wednesday. The game where 9 players fouled out, 122 total fouls committed. A crazy game I don't think I've ever seen anything like. But at the end of the day, Fordham come out of that game losers, and they're 0-5 in the Atlantic 10. But this game in Chicago tonight represents an opportunity to get out off the floor of the Atlantic 10. We have starting lineups for both teams, starting with the Rams: Jaffe Medor, Ramad Dean, Jackie Johnson, Abdou Timdila, and Zach Riley. That's the starting 5 for the Rams. Some continuity in these last couple of games with this starting 5 with Zach Riley in the rotation.
Yeah, it's a nice look for the Rams. He brings a lot on defense. Obviously, Jameer Tripp, not someone known for his excellence on that side of the ball. Keith Ergo, again, a coach that wants to instill that in him, this coaching staff. Trey Woodall's been the same, looking to make this team win games on defense. I think that was a lot of the concern. That's why you reach a lot of A-10 struggle. That's why Jameer Tripp has been so quiet. It's not because he got taken out of the starting lineup. It's because you're not playing UMaine, you're not playing Bryant, you're not playing UAlbany. This is the Atlantic 10 Conference, Nick Guzman. So when you're looking for defense, you're looking to win games based on your identity, you go Zach Riley over Jameer Tripp in that starting lineup all day.
And if it seems extra loud, it's because we're sitting directly in front of the Loyola Chicago student section. Like, literally could not be closer. Might as well be a part of the student section, but a great fan base here at Gentile Arena. We had Sister Jean give us some words of welcome a few minutes ago, and really great mid-major basketball arena they have here, now member of the Atlantic 10 Conference. For Loyola Chicago, it's been a bit of a mixed bag in the Atlantic 10. They're 2-3, loss, win, loss, win, loss, in that coming off a really heartbreaking loss in overtime against Dayton on the road. That's a game where, Jalen Quinn in overtime ties the game with a layup with just 3 seconds left, but then you blink and Dayton go down the court and throw that half-court alley-oop to win the game, and the Flyers come out on top at home in that one. So Loyola Chicago, not as in desperate need of a win as Fordham are, but when you see a team like Fordham coming into your gym at 0-5, it's a game for the Ramblers that you feel like they need to have. And for them, their starting 5 is unchanged from that Dayton game. It's Des Watson, Jaden Dawson, Jalen Quinn, Sheldon Edwards Jr., and Miles Rubin. Balanced scoring is the story for this Loyola Chicago team. Both Watson and Dawson right around 12 points per game, as is Edwards. With a lot of depth, there's a lot of people you need to focus on in this starting 5.
Absolutely. I think the key, the crown, the gem in the crown of this Loyola offense is Edwards Jr. The way he's able to stretch out, you see a lot of action coming out of the free throw line. Free throw line extended. Should be interesting for Abdou Timbila, not someone known for his ability to guard on the perimeter. Maybe we'll see some more Matt Zona action. Maybe some Josh Rivera at the 5 action. Something that Keith Ergo loved to do. Something that I think Woodall will echo. This is going to be a very interesting matchup. Both these teams coming off of heartbreaking losses. One in a better spot than the other. But I think in terms of expectations relative to their record, they're both in the same spot.
And it's been a turbulent week for Fordham basketball, but I feel like at this point, you put the UMass game behind you, you put all the Ergo stuff behind you, you got an opportunity to win an Atlantic 10 game on the road in a hostile environment. And Fordham is just in such desperate need of a win. They've lost by a smaller and smaller margin in each of their Atlantic 10 losses this season, and I think it's fair to say the performances have matched that as well. It's improved, and now it's time to finally get over that hump and deliver a win.
So this is where you find out what you're actually made of as a team. You know what I mean? They're 0-5 with everything going right. How can they be with everything going wrong?
Fordham in their alternate gray jerseys, Loyola Chicago wearing black. Fordham will attack from left to right in front of us. Loyola Chicago from right to left as we're ready for opening tip. It'll be Abdou Timbila against Miles Rubin, the 6'10 sophomore. All A-10 defensive team last year as a rookie and all-rookie team. Second in the A-10 in blocks, a real presence on the interior, and Fordham going to have to be mindful of him on the defensive end.
Absolutely. Looking at Abdou Timbila, a big center matchup there. A guy that has honestly regressed. You know what I mean? You see that 25-8 season 2 years ago for the Rams, and slowly, it just seems like Abdou's decision-making is separating from his skill set in a negative way. Hopefully, with a key center-on-center matchup like he has tonight, he'll step up to the plate, make a big play.
It's Timbila against Rubin as we're just about set to get underway here at Gentile Arena. The ball goes up and we're underway. Rubin tips into the backcourt and Loyola Chicago will start with the ball. Jalen Quinn across the timeline for the Ramblers. Driving to this near side wing, straight away for Des Watson. Zach Riley on him at the Script Loyola logo. Watson swinging his near side wing for Dawson. Straight away, that's Rubin. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Rubin, top of the key. To the far side wing for Watson. 6 seconds to shoot against Timbila. Watson drives, got by him. Abdou looked like he got a hand on it. Shot goes anyway. Loyola Chicago up 2-0 early, 30 seconds in. Jaffe Medor in the front court for the Rams. Jackie Johnson has it up high, hands off for Zach Riley. Screen for Timbila. Riley drives, will throw up a lob for Timbila. Blocked away by Rubin. Got up there to block it away. Quinn the other way for Loyola Chicago. One-on-one against Riley. Takes the contact and finishes strong with the left hand. 4-0 Loyola Chicago. 55 seconds gone by.
They're going to play fast. They're going to play quick. Fordham needing to match the energy if they want to stay in this game in a rambunctious Gentile Arena.
Riley up high. The screen from Timbila. Now on this near side wing. Straight away Ramad Dean. He'll pop the triple and bury it. Huge early three from Ramad Dean. It's 4-3 Loyola Chicago. Just over a minute gone by, first half. This is Jalen Quinn, near side wing. Feed top of the key for Rubin. It's out to the far side wing. Sheldon Edwards drives, kicks. Quinn to Dawson in the corner. That's Watson. Fake the three. Now we'll shoot it, and it's no good. Jaffe Medor the rebound. Back the other way for Fordham. Dean fake the three. Johnson on the far side to Medor on this near side wing. Jaffe Medor drives, takes the contact. Looking for some separation to Johnson in the corner. He stepped out of bounds. That's going to be a turnover.
Watson, interesting shot for him. And looking at it all year, big hitch in his shot for him. He dips that ball low, kind of like a Lonzo Ball, almost a Jason Tatum prototype. You see that cost him the up fake there. Ramad was floating in the air the entire time, able to get back for the contest.
Quinn across the timeline for the Ramblers for Rubin. Handoff on this near side for Dawson. The flip inside for Rubin. Got there, but couldn't corral the pass. Abdou Timbila has it. Ahead for Jaffe Medor to Riley. Fakes the three. He'll drive baseline. Kick to the far corner. Dean swung up high for Johnson. His triple is too strong. Ramad Dean, the offensive board. Straight away Medor. His three's perfect. Jaffe Medor knocks it down. It's 6-4 Fordham. 17:40 to go in the first half.
Zach Riley with that baseline mid-air pass, looking pretty.
Dawson up high for Loyola Chicago. Straight away for Rubin. Timbila aggressive out on the perimeter. Now he backs off, top of the key, Rubin. Out to the far side wing, Des Watson. Drives around Johnson. Timbila there to help. Down low for Rubin. That's going to be a kickball in the lane. Not sure if it went off Abdu's foot or Riley's.
Riley, yeah, that's going to kick ball on Riley. Love the pace of this game so far from the Rams. A lot of energy defensively, a lot of communication, willing to make the extra pass. Again, you got to watch for Edwards, though. Get ready for him to work in that free throw line, especially out of these baseline plays.
17:22 to go, first half. 6-4 Fordham. Loyola Chicago will inbound in the front court underneath the basket through Jalen Quinn. Timbila providing the ball pressure. Quinn needs an option here. He's taking a lot of time, able to flip all the way to the backcourt. Edwards just saved that from being a backcourt. He's able to keep his feet on the right side, just barely. The backdoor cut, and Sheldon Edwards with the finish. 6-6 with 17:10 to go first half.
That's a big part of their offense. That's a big part of their offense.
Medor at the logo. Handoff for Jackie Johnson. Zach Riley has it now straight away. Working against Sheldon Edwards. Riley for Johnson near side wing. Fordham still way out on the perimeter with 10 seconds to shoot. Johnson wide for Jaffe Medor. 7 on the shot clock. Medor on Edwards. Will step back for 3. That's short. Rebound loose. Dean tried to save it. Last touch off of Loyola Chicago as the ball went out of bounds on the baseline. It'll be Fordham basketball.
And a fresh shot clock. That's massive. Coach Valentine displeased with the lack of communication. When you run as many ball screens and as many switches as this Loyola team does, you got to have defensive communication.
Riley into Abdu up high here for Jackie Johnson. Timbila trying to set the screen. Johnson double team near the timeline. Able to get it to Riley. Swung to the corner for Dean. Down low to the post for Timbila. Low block. Timbila spins. Blocked away. Huge block there from Jalen Deloche. And this is Edwards Jr. for Loyola Chicago. Deloche up high. Size mismatch here against Jackie Johnson. Backing him down. Left block. Deloche, the feed down low. Couldn't quite slam it home. That was Wakoria.
It's a technical foul there. Hanging on the rim, tried to block Dean from getting the rebound.
And it's going to be a tech. You're right. He hung on the rim as he went up for that dunk. Great defense from Zach Riley. And then, blocked Ramad Dean from getting the rebound.
Beautiful. Again, that's why you have Riley in that lineup, a guy always willing to work hard, make the extra pass, the extra play, the extra nitty-gritty stuff that wins you basketball games.
So timeout on the floor with 16:08 to go in the first half. The score, Fordham 6, Loyola Chicago 6. You're listening to Fordham men's basketball on WFUV Sports.
I'm Chaz McAdams.
And I'm Ben Oppenheimer.
And we are two of your hosts for On the Hill, the flagship podcast of Fordham Athletics.
We'll be talking about everything from football at Moglia Stadium
to hoops at the historic Rose Hill Gym.
Discussing the ins and outs of all Ram athletes, teams, and big games.
If you want to be part of the Ramily, then listen to On the Hill from WFUV Sports.
Welcome back inside the Gentile Arena. We are not at the Rose Hill Gym, Chaz. We are in Chicago, Illinois.
Wish we had this environment in the Rose Hill Gym.
It is loud in here. Student section directly behind us. They've had the energy early. It's 6-6 here between Fordham and Loyola Chicago with 16:08 to go in this first half. Chaz, super even first 4 minutes of this game. Fordham able to get those 2 threes on offense.
Yeah, I mean, those are huge. I love the shot selection out of everyone. The play style's been great. Making the extra pass. Love Zach Riley on defense and offense. These are great plays. Again, these Fordham Rams. That's why I talked about this at the beginning. You were 0-5 with everything in your favor, everything going right. How can you play with your backs against the wall when you got a chip on your shoulder and when someone took a piece off you? You know what I mean? They should take that personally. Take the NCAA, what they did to Keith Urgo. I'm not talking objective here. I'm talking internally with this team. You take that personally. You rally around your coach. You rally around the guy that went 25-8. These are the moments that make great basketball teams. These are the moments. These are the games. This is the team, Fordham Rams.
So it's 6-6 here with 16:08 to go in the first half. Trey Woodall in his first game as the interim head coach for this Fordham team. On the other side, it's Drew Valentine for Loyola Chicago in his 4th season in charge. And some history between these two coaches. Drew Valentine was a star at Oakland. Trey Woodall, a star point guard at Pitt. They met in the 2010 NCAA tournament first round, with Woodall's Pitt coming out on top as the 3 seed. Trey had 10 points in that one. Drew Valentine with 7. But Drew Valentine from a great basketball family. Denzel Valentine, obviously Michigan State legend, and had some success in the association NBA as well.
Oh my goodness, Valentine.
Oh my, there you go. So some basketball pedigree behind both benches here. Loyola Chicago, we mentioned, coming off that heartbreaker on the road to Dayton. They're a team that's really middle of the pack in most offensive and defensive metrics. They struggle shooting the free throw, but maybe don't do anything that great, but pretty fundamentally sound, and there's a reason why this team, although there are some changes or personnel-wise from last season, why they went 15-2 in the Atlantic 10 and took a share of the regular season conference title.
There is no lack of excellence on this Loyola Chicago team. They're looking to maintain, which is why I said this on and off start, winning and losing, is just not like them. Not something I expected out of them.
Technical free throw from Jackie Johnson is good, so it's a 7-6 Fordham lead. Now the Rams will inbound in the backcourt. Jameer Tripp on the floor for the first time into Jaffe Medor. It's Tripp, Medor, Johnson, Zona, and Rivera for Fordham. Medor at the logo. Screen up high from Matt Zona. Handoff on the far side for Tripp. Straight away, Zona thought about a 3 to this near side wing for Josh Rivera. Rivera drives into the paint. Jump step. Rivera down low. Kicks it out. Johnson swung to the near side wing for Medor. 5 seconds to shoot. Jaffe drives. Feed inside for Zona. He pumps. Couldn't finish at the rim. Ball loose on the baseline. Last touch off Loyola Chicago. Fordham will keep it with a fresh 20 seconds on the shot clock.
Oh, I want to see Zona pull that at the top of the key. That's his shot. Too far to Rockland County. Got to have more confidence when he's stepping out on the court. Great play all around, though. Looking to get a fresh shot clock in. Jameer Tripp, Josh Rivera, not looking to hold on to the ball for as long as they were in that possession. Again, move the rock, cause confusion on defense, and get some easy points.
Off the inbounds, Rivera has it straight away. He'll hand off for Johnson. This is now Zona at the logo. On the near side wing for Tripp. Tripp looking to attack at the free throw line. Kick out to the far wing. Johnson, the deep triple is good. Jackie Johnson with a hand in his face from at least 3 steps beyond the arc. That's 10-6 Fordham.
That's a layup for Jackie Johnson. Those are the ones he likes to shoot. Those are the ones he's going to shoot.
Jaden Dawson the other way for Loyola Chicago. Straight away here, Kamani Huinsu. Fordham in that zone look with pressure up high. Watson at the logo, swinging the near side wing. Wakoria straight away. That's a 3. No good from Watson. Flying in for the board is Wakoria. Can't finish at the rim. It wouldn't go. Jameer Tripp the rebound. He had an open look as he got the positioning on Zona. Just couldn't finish. Jaffe Medor the other way for the Rams. Straight away for Jameer Tripp. Tripp crossover to the corner. Medor driving baseline. Inside for Zona. Pass deflected out of bounds. Again on the baseline. Again, Fordham will keep it with 15 on the shot clock and 14:34 on the game clock in the first half.
Absolutely. This Loyola team is so keen on collapsing defense. They're not going to let you get easy buckets at the rim. The point guards, the guards, they have to be ready for the kick out. Jaffe is. Riley will be. Tripp will be as well.
Pass deflected as Medor tried to get it into Zona. That was Daniel Glaskov. We got a hand on it. Fordham will keep it. The ball into Zona now in the near side corner. The wing for Tripp, straight away Rivera, now to the far side for Jaffe Medor. Jackie Johnson with it. Johnson, crossover, looking to attack. Tripp thought about the 3 on the near side wing. Will drive with 2 on the shot clock, blocked away, and that's going to be a shot clock violation as Tripp couldn't get the shot up.
Great block there. Oh my gosh. That level of rim protection is not something we see a lot of. In the A-10, you love to see these elite bigs going to work.
So Loyola Chicago will inbound here in the backcourt. Jaffe Medor checks out Ryan Pettis in the game for the first time for Fordham. Des Watson with Fordham pressuring. Up ahead here for Huinsu. Watson near side wing, straight away Glaskov. Watson inside to the corner. Again, Huinsu, the feed down low, and Miles Rubin with the slam. Loyola Chicago picks apart the zone that time.
Yeah, I mean, when you have someone rolling baseline like that, you can't have a rover playing so up high. You got to play some man-to-man, one-on-one ball.
Jackie Johnson with the ball up high for Fordham, off the foot of Josh Rivera, and that's going to be a backcourt violation as the ball just went on the wrong side of the timeline.
Mental lapses like that kill your chances of coming in here getting a big upset. Hopefully that's the last one we see out of Josh Rivera.
So it's 10-8 Fordham with 13:43 to go. First half. Kamani Huinsu will inbound right in front of us in the front court. Huinsu gets that one in at the logo. Watson for Jaden Dawson. Watson on this near side. Out to the far wing. The feed inside. Huinsu blocked away by Zona from behind. It comes off the rim. The rebound from Rubin. Loyola Chicago keep it alive. Huinsu up high. Out to the far side wing for Glasscoff. Down low for Huinsu. Got around Tripp. The reverse lay and the foul. Kamani Huinsu, the impressive move. It's all tied up at 10 with 13:20 to go in the first half, and a free throw coming for Kamani Huinsu.
Body placement and getting position is so key. Huinsu just great at getting that back hip away from Jameer Tripp, able to seal off so well, and it was inevitable that he was going to get that layup. You have to have better body positioning, especially with the way these Loyola players, they cut back door at least once a possession.
The free throw in and out. A whistle on the floor.
Lane violation.
And it's going to be a lane violation. And Huinsu's going to get a chance to do it again.
Again, these mental lapses are what kills you.
Kamani Huinsu returned to action last Wednesday against Rhode Island after missing a month due to injury. He was a starter before that injury, then he's come off the bench in his 3 games since his return, and he drains the free throw on the second chance. So it's 11-10 Loyola Chicago, 13-17 to go first half. Medor across the timeline, handoff up high for Pettis, out to the far side wing for Jameer Tripp. Tripp looking for Rivera. Active hands from Watson. Rivera has it up high. Feeding the post for Zona, just able to corral that one against Rubin. Zona backing him down, got stripped. Last touch off Zona as the ball went out on the baseline. That's a turnover, Loyola Chicago basketball.
Positioning, again, Zona catching that ball, not having good positioning, footwork being everything in this matchup. If Fordham locks in on their body positioning, not only do they have more opportunities on the offensive end, but not as many backdoor cuts on the defensive.
Edwards inbounds here to Huinsu, working against Ryan Pettis across the timeline. Glasscoff on the far side wing. The near side for Edwards Jr. Active hands from Ryan Pettis knocks that one out of bounds. It'll stay here with the Ramblers.
Great hands there from RP. Loves to be there, loves to go out there and guard. Early minutes he's been seeing in the A-10.
Glasscoff to inbound, gets it in straight away for Miles Rubin. Rubin, handoff up high for Dawson, using the screen. Dawson attacks to the corner. Edwards, a triple, too strong. Rebound swatted at by Rubin, it's loose. Medor gets there first, and he gets taken out as he tried to move it in transition. Dawson dove for it, Medor got there first, and Jaffe got cleaned out.
Those plays are so dangerous. My heart skipped a beat there, Nick Guzman. Oh my God, that's like Russell Westbrook off his Ironman streak. Pat Bev diving at his legs. Plays like that scare me.
Luckily, Medor is okay. He's up already and will stay on the court. It will be Fordham basketball here with Josh Rivera to inbound in front of the Loyola Chicago bench. 12:31 to go first half, 11-10. Ramblers. Fordham haven't scored in the last 2:51. Trying to change that here on this possession. Open in the corner is Medor, and he cans the three. How are you going to leave Jaffe Medor open in the corner?
Communication on defense.
Quinn on the far side against Pettis. Looking to drive inside for Rubin. He corrals it. Pettis got a hand in there out to the perimeter. Glasscoff's three. No good. That's an air ball. Ramad Dean the rebound. Medor the other way for the Rams. Up high for Dean. To the far wing for Rivera. Driving baseline on Glasscoff. Rivera spins in the lane. Puts it up. Wild shot wouldn't go. Edwards the rebound. Back the other way for the Ramblers. Quinn splits inside. He got fouled on the floor by Pettis, and that will take us to our under 12 media timeout with 11:50 to go in the first half. The score is Fordham 13, Loyola Chicago 11. And we'll send it back to our Rose Hill studios for the one-on-one scoreboard with Lou Orlando.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
Well, Fordham one of 3 A-10 games on tonight's slate. 13-5 GW against UMass. UMass going for their third straight win, up 54-44 with 10:27 left in the game. Then you've got LaSalle St. Louis. That one just got underway. First 8 minutes, it's LaSalle up 15-9. In the top 25, fun matchup in the Big East between Xavier and St. John's. It's Xavier that's up 52-40 over a ranked St. John's team. 13:51 left in the second half. A-10 women's basketball. Fordham not in action tonight. They play Saturday at home against Bonaventure. But a really good one between two of the top teams in the A-10, Davidson and George Mason. Davidson up 61-51, final 2 minutes of the third quarter. Well, the New York Jets have a new head coach. They hired Detroit Lions defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn. He's got some New York ties. He's got some Jets ties. Former Jets first-round pick, spent 8 seasons from 1994 to 2001. Two-time Pro Bowler in New York. He said it's his dream job. Jets owner Woody Johnson said the search for a new GM still ongoing. Lions OC Ben Johnson headed to Chicago. He'll inherit Caleb Williams in year 2 with the Bears. So the Dan Campbell coaching tree going to get put to the test next season. With the one-on-one scoreboard update, I'm Lou Orlando.
Welcome back inside Gentile Arena. This is Nick Guzman here alongside Chaz McAdams. Fordham with a 13-11 lead over Loyola Chicago with 11:50 to go in the first half. Chaz, Fordham on offense, 4 made field goals. They're all 3-pointers. They're 4 of 6 from deep. We've seen some really poor starts from 3 from this Fordham team in conference play. That SLU game, the St. Bonaventure game, those come to mind, but hot from beyond the arc early.
Yeah, but I don't love the 0 for 4 down low. Eventually those threes, they might not fall at such a high clip. I mean, right now you're shooting 66%. Be mindful of the fact that those aren't going to fall. You got to get some more looks inside.
I think Miles Rubin is a real deterrent down there for Loyola Chicago, and some size coming off the bench too in the form of Deloach and Wakoria. With 11:50 to go in the first half, Fordham, who's started poorly in a lot of their Atlantic 10 games so far this season, have themselves a 2-point lead here with 11:50 to go in the first half. It'll be Loyola Chicago basketball through Watson. He'll inbound all the way to the backcourt to Jalen Quinn. Across the timeline against Ryan Pettis. Quinn, Pettis applying the pressure, and he'll get called for the foul.
And that is looking like 2 quick ones on Ryan Pettis. You want him in there to play defense. Having him out is a struggle, but I love Jackie Johnson III. When he's really locked in defensively on the ball, he loves going over screens, which I think is going to help for this Fordham defense here.
Quinn has it for the Ramblers, straight away for Dawson. Medora watching him. Dawson, dribble drive. Timbila got there with the help. There's going to be a foul called as Dawson went up with it. Not sure if they'll get Medora or Timbila on the help.
No, on Abdu.
And it's going to be a foul on Abdu. Not sure I saw the contact on that one, but it's going to be a foul on Abdu either way.
Would love a replay.
Trey Woodall talking to the officials, asking for an explanation. Either way, it's going to be 2 shots coming for Jaden Dawson, the junior from Omaha, Nebraska. First free throw is good. Dawson missed about a month from December to January with an ankle injury. The return for the start of conference play and has gone right back into this starting rotation as he makes the second free throw as well to tie the game up at 13. 11:35 to go first half. Medor across the timeline against Quinn. Has it at the logo. High screen from Timbila. Medor on the far side wing. To the corner for Zach Riley. Straight away for Jackie Johnson. 13 on the shot clock. Jackie driving left. Takes a bump and he'll go to the free throw line. It's going to be a foul on the floor, actually. They say he got bumped before he went up with it. And Fordham will inbound here. 11:15 to go in the first half.
Starters out there again, just looking to bring some continuity, some mental fortitude for this Fordham team. I think that those subbing the pair of Rivera and Tripp in is something that's been happening a lot with this Fordham team. I think you might want to space those guys out a little bit more because of the black holes they create on the offensive end. They love to go score. Space your scorers out and make sure all your best, as many good defenders are out there at once.
Josh and Jameer both super aggressive on offense when it comes to driving down low and trying to score the basketball in the paint. But I think it's a valid point in terms of maybe spacing out that kind of look just to get a little bit of different looks and different rotations for this Fordham team. Dean inbounds to Jaffe Medor up high. Medor drives right, pivots, feed down low for Timbila. He went up with it, and they're going to call a foul. Abdu draws the foul with 11:08 to go in the first half.
It's big to have 3 quick ones like that, especially in the lineup now. You want to get to the bonus as soon as possible, and you're not that scared because, again, as shout out my guy, Danny Malia, this Ramblers team makes Fordham look like an elite free throw shooting team. Only under 70% from the stripe this year.
Next to last in the Atlantic 10 in that category. Riley to inbound underneath, needs to get it in here. Riley will go all the way up high for Jaffe Medor at the Loyola Chicago logo. Some pressure up high from Dawson. Medor drives baseline. Medor gets underneath and lays it in with the left hand. Nifty move from Jaffe Medor. The Rams back on top by 2.
The creativity and the footwork out of Jaffe Medor is exemplary.
Quinn around Johnson, blocked away by Abdu. Jackie Johnson the other way for the Rams. Johnson gets inside, a lot of contact. He's fouled as he went up with it. And that's going to be 2 shots coming for Jackie Johnson.
Again, you keep playing fast. You make this team make mental mistakes. Their lack of communication seems to be the kryptonite to their Superman so far in this game. Would love to see some more pace of play. Attack the rack. I know you went 0 for 4 down there for the game, but you got to maintain that excellence. You got to maintain that drive, that want to just expand the basketball court, make sure the defense collapses on you, get a nice foul, get your points on the charity stripe.
First free throw is good from Jackie Johnson, who had a career high in points last time out against UMass, 36 points, but he took 33 shots, just 12 of 33 from the field. You need a little more efficiency out of Jackie. But he makes both free throws here to put Fordham up 17-13 with 10:41 to go in the first half. Johnson, 1 of 2 so far with 6 points. He's 3 of 3 at the line. Watson across the timeline now, has it near side wing. Zach Riley on him. Timbila got a hand in there with the steal. Great defensive play from Abdu. Zach Riley the other way for the Rams. For Ramad Dean. Straight away for Jaffe Medor. Out to the far side wing for Jackie Johnson. Johnson, Riley. Straight away for Jackie. The long triple is short. Rebound by Wakoria. Sheldon Edwards Jr. the other way for the Ramblers. Has it up high. Edwards straight away for Watson. Pushed out to the far corner. Wakoria straight away now for Deloach. Timbila on him. Back door. The cut. Johnson with the steal. Active hands in the passing lane. Into the front court. Jackie Johnson for Jaffe Medor. Under 10 to go first half. Medor at the script logo.
Maintaining composure on the offensive end, Jaffe Medor.
Screen from Timbila. Medor down low, looking for Abdu. Off his hands, it'll come to Dean in the corner. His triple too strong. Timbila, the offensive board, keeps the possession alive. Backing down to Loach, into the corner for Riley. Pumps the 3. Back out to the far wing for Jackie Johnson. Screen from Timbila. Johnson, down low, pass picked off by Edwards. Here come the Ramblers. Down low, Wakoria puts it up and in. 9:10 to go first half, 17-15 Fordham.
Got to utilize your extra possessions there. If you're going to rebound the ball on the offensive end, you have to be able to maintain excellence on the shot clock.
Ramad Dean, top of the key. Handoff Jackie Johnson, fakes the 3. He'll drive left. Jackie flies in for 2. Strong move from Jackie Johnson. He's got 8 points. 19-15 Fordham. 8:43 to go first half. This is Deloach up high for Watson. Drives. Timbila bumped him. And Watson will go to the free throw line. Timbila looks a lot more active out there and really seems to be just in the right spots on defense.
Mentally, yeah, especially. He's following his assignments. He's communicating on defense. You want that from your bigs. Some of you don't get to see a lot out of Abdu usually. Love to see the improvement.
It'll be 2 shots coming here for Des Watson in his second year now at Loyola Chicago after spending 2 years at Davidson. He was second team All A-10 last year, having a similarly impressive campaign this time out. The team's leading scorer at 12.6 points per game. First free throw from Watson is good. That's 2 fouls now on Abdu. Both teams will make substitutions here. Matt Zona checks back into the game, as does Jameer Tripp and Josh Rivera. Fordham still sticking with the substitutions in mass. Zona, Tripp, Rivera all coming in at once. Riley and Medor, the other Rams who remain, as Johnson, Dean, Timbila check out. Watson gets the friendly roll on the second free throw. 19-17 rather, in favor of Fordham. 8:32 to go, first half. Jameer Tripp has it on the far wing. Up high, Matt Zona. Handoff for Jaffe Medor on the near side. Medor towards the corner now. Medor will step back for 3, in and out. Rebound by Quinn. Quickly up ahead. Here comes Wokoria. He'll wait for some help. He gives it back for Edwards. He fakes the 3. That's going to be offensive foul on Loyola Chicago. Illegal screen off the ball. And another turnover for the Ramblers, and Fordham will take possession here in the backcourt.
Have to make use of these mental lapses. If you have a team making mistakes like Loyola is, not executing, you have to make them pay for it.
8:05 to go first half. 19-17 Fordham. Medor, the script logo. Out to this near side wing for Jameer Tripp. Straight away for Matt Zona. Miscommunication there with Tripp, and the pass goes out of bounds. That will take us to our under 8 media timeout with 7:55 to go in the first half. The score is Fordham 19, Loyola Chicago 17. You're listening to Fordham men's basketball on WFUV Sports.
What's up, everyone? I'm Will Talent.
And I'm Evan Harkin. We're 2 of your hosts for NFL Friday, WFUV Sports' exclusive NFL podcast.
From breaking down the weekly slate to fantasy football pickups, we've got you covered on all things around the NFL.
Stay tuned for our hosts' weekly picks as they compete against each other all season long.
Football is here, and so is NFL Friday.
Back here inside an absolutely raucous Gentile Arena. It is loud here in Chicago. Fordham with a 19-17 lead over Loyola Chicago with 7:55 to go in the first half. Nick Guzman here alongside Chaz McAdams. Really a positive start for the Rams, aided by some mistakes from Loyola Chicago, but 8 points for Jaffe Medor on 3 of 5 shooting, 8 points for Jackie Johnson, and then 3 for Ramad Dean. That takes Fordham up to their 19. They're doing a t-shirt toss here inside Gentile Arena, and that's enough to get the student section nice and rowdy. But Chaz, all things considered, on the road, hostile atmosphere, hasn't been perfect for Fordham, but you're encouraged by what you've seen on offense from Jaffe and Jackie, we've seen on defense from Abdu Timbila in just being in the right spots, even though he has the 2 personal fouls.
I don't think there's a way that Fordham could have executed better on offense except for more dynamic offense around the perimeter. I want to see that Matt Zona pull up. I want to see more passing, more exchanges out on the perimeter. I want to see Ramad Dean get some more looks. I don't want to see those Josh Rivera, those Jameer Tripp, those pointless drives into the paint that don't collapse the defense. You have to be willing to give up the ball for the potential for yourself to get an extra shot.
It'll be Loyola Chicago basketball coming out of this media timeout after the turnover on the miscommunication on that pass between Zona and Tripp. Fordham, as we've said before, 0-5 in the Atlantic 10 coming into this game. Next time out, they'll be back home at the Rose Hill Gym on Sunday afternoon. That's a noon start against Duquesne. At this point in the Atlantic 10 schedule, Fordham just trying to get a win on the board. And they've come out pretty strong here in Chicago. The Ramblers will inbound in the backcourt for Sheldon Edwards Jr. Got 2 points himself in 9 minutes so far. Huinsu will carry the ball ahead for the Ramblers. Huinsu driving left on Zona. Now looking to back him down. Huinsu into the lane, still has it. Huinsu all the way inside, finally kicks it out to Watson. Down low, low block against Rivera. Backing him down, into the lane. Watson leans in. Shot no good, great defense from Josh Rivera. Fordham can go back the other way. Medor for Rivera with pull up for three. That's good. What a sequence from Josh Rivera, getting it done on both ends. Fordham by 5. Edwards out to the far side wing for Des Watson. Straight away for Huinsu. Again trying to drive on Zona, not giving him an inch. Kick out again for Quinn. Straight away up high. That's going to be a three, in and out. Zona the rebound. Shot would not go from Wakoria. Johnson into the front court. Straight away Zona. He'll try the three. Too strong. Rebound comes right to Jaffe Medor on the far side corner. Medor drives, takes a bump and finishes anyway. Strong move off the glass from Jaffe Medor. That's 24-17 Rams with 6:40 to go in the first half.
Jaffe Medor has his fingerprints all over this Fordham lead, making the plays, making the right decisions. This is what you need from your captain.
Medor with the steal, trying to save it on the sideline. It just goes out of bounds in front of the scorer's table. But the Fordham bench loves that. Jaffe Medor with 10 points in just 12 minutes of action, getting it done on both ends. What an impressive start for Jaffe.
This team doesn't lose the attitude identity when it's Woodall at the helm, no matter who it is. These guys have been baked into the attitude system. You know those loose balls are going to come up gray.
Loyola Chicago will inbound right in front of the scorer's table. With 6:29 to go first half, it's 24-17 Fordham, and now the referees will go over to the monitor to look at something. Not sure if it's whether or not, not sure what they're looking at over at the monitor.
I think it's if Jaffe was fouled on his way to go dive for that loose ball.
Go. And when you talk a little bit about Jaffe Medor as the officials look at this,
good.
25 points versus UMass on 14 of 16 from the free throw line. That's after dropping 20 against Davidson and a team-high 19 against VCU. Seems like the calendar has switched to A10 play, and Jaffe Medor has leveled up his game.
And his efficiency, that was the main problem. Jaffe was abysmal efficiency-wise, but he's really come into his own late into his last season here with the Rams. And he's just been such a great leader on court. It's the way you see him mentoring Tripp and Josh and making sure they're in their right headspace is exemplary.
Huinsu has it for the Ramblers on the far side wing against Zona. Cross-court pass to Watson. Watson drives baseline, spins low block on Jaffe. Kick out again to the far side. Driving down low is Glasscoff. Got around Tripp but couldn't finish at the rim. Jameer with the rebound. Jackie Johnson carries it ahead on the far side for the Rams. Johnson the crossover, thought about the three. Will kick up high for Josh Rivera. Rivera gets open from mid-range. Wild shot, no good. Last touch was off Fordham as the ball went out of bounds on the baseline. Kind of a wild shot from Rivera.
I mean, those are the ones he likes to take. But I didn't love. You got Jameer Tripp going for that O board. So you'll have to see that box out getting a little aggressive, maybe more than a box out for Jameer Tripp.
So Jaffe Medor will get a breather here. Ramad Dean back into the game for the Rams. 5:54 to go first half, 24-17 Fordham. Quinn has it at the Loyola Chicago logo. Quinn out to the far side wing for Jack Turner, the freshman, getting some action. Quinn's pass to the near side wing was deflected out of bounds by Tripp. And the Ramblers will keep it. Glasscoff will inbound just to our left.
Again, the key for this Fordham defense, I keep keying in on it, is just maintaining that mental fortitude. You can't get lost on one backdoor cut, on one missed assignment. You have to stay mentally strong.
Straight away, this is Quinn. Up high for Watson. Rivera right on him. Out to the far wing for Turner. To this near side now. Handoff for Quinn. 2 seconds to shoot. Quinn has to put one up and buries it. At the end of the shot clock, Jalen Quinn knocks it down. 24-20 in favor of the Rams. Jameer Tripp on the far side wing. Up high for Matt Zona. Zona down low for Rivera. One-on-one against the freshman Turner. Glasscock comes with the help. Rivera out to the far wing for Dean. Down low for Tripp. Backing down low block. Tripp spins down low. Got the basket. No, it's going to be an offensive foul on Jameer Tripp as he was working inside on Miles Rubin. It's hard enough going in there on Rubin anyway, but they're going to get Tripp for the offensive foul.
Dropping his shoulder there, Rubin again. I talked about body position for this Ramblers squad. Chest to shoulder, you go perpendicular there. Someone digs into you, you fall back far enough. Great play. Great play out of Rubin, you got to give credit.
That's why he's one of the best defenders in this conference. So it's 24-20 Fordham, under 5 to go first half. Zach Riley back in the game. Jameer Tripp checks out. Jack Turner near side wing for the Ramblers. Up high, this is Rubin. Zona watching him. Out to the far wing for Turner. Straight away, this is Quinn. Swung to the near wing. Glasscock inside, off the hands, but Zona couldn't quite corral it. It goes out of bounds on the baseline. The Ramblers will keep it.
Goldfish memory. Mental mistakes like that. Not even a mental mistake there for Zona. Just a tip ball that didn't go his way. Again, goldfish memory. You can't beat yourself up.
4:37 to go in the first half. 6 seconds on the shot clock for Loyola Chicago as they'll inbound underneath. Jalen Quinn will do the honors for the Ramblers. Zona providing the pressure on ball. Quinn into Dawson in the corner. Dawson will step back from 3 over Riley. He knocks it down. Back-to-back contested threes from Loyola Chicago, and they're back within 1 with 4:27 to go first half. Jackie Johnson has it for Fordham near side wing. Up high, Zona for Dean. He'll launch the 3. No good. Rebound Loyola Chicago to hit off the side of the rim. An ugly shot from Ramad. Quinn down low. Open is Rubin. Zona fouled him. And 2 shots coming for Miles Rubin, and a chance for the Ramblers to take the lead all of a sudden.
Yeah, this is a great run by the Ramblers. Those 2 tough threes. Fordham making them work with the shot clock. And then the ball just goes their way. You love to see shots like that.
Fordham hasn't scored in their last 2:38. And as such, Miles Rubin is at the free throw line, a 61% free throw shooter. First one doesn't get the roll. So he can only tie here on this second attempt with 4:09 to go in the first half. It's a mini little 6-0 run for Loyola Chicago. The offense is still a little bit spotty for Miles Rubin. Had just 2 points against Dayton and then 5 against Rhode Island. But, you know, he scored 21 points earlier this year against Oakland, was a 3-star recruit coming out of high school. The defense is there. The next step for Rubin is putting it together on this end of the floor. He goes 0 for 2 at the line. Zach Riley, the rebound. Medor the other way for the Rams. Into the corner. Johnson, his 3, no good. Rebound loose. Zach Riley able to come up with it for Medor. Again for Johnson. He'll try it again. That one's good. Jackie Johnson knocks down the triple. Fordham back up by 4, under 4 to go first half. 27-23 Rams. Huinsu driving far side on Riley. Backing him down now. Low block. He spins. Huinsu gets the roll as he spun around Zach Riley.
A team with so much length, like the Ramblers have, you got to be ready for them to pull post moves like that, especially when you're running a 3-guard lineup.
27-25 Fordham, 3:25 to go first half. Jackie Johnson has it up high. The zone look for Loyola Chicago. The 3 men pressuring up high. Medor on the far wing. Inside for Zona. Fordham trying to attack this zone. Medor driving baseline. 5 seconds to shoot. Jafe's got to make something happen. He drives down low. Medor took a bump, and he's going to go to the free throw line before the expiration of the shot clock. And that will take us to our under 4 media timeout. When we come back, Jafe Medor will be at the free throw line with 3:07 to go in the first half. It's Fordham 27, Loyola Chicago 25. We'll send it back to our Rose Hill studios for the one-on-one scoreboard with Lou Orlando.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
Keeping you up to date in the A-10, UMass still up over GW. Final 2 minutes, 22 seconds. UMass up 69-61. Minutemen looking to win 3 straight after that crazy game in Rose Hill last Wednesday. SLU has taken a lead over LaSalle in the final 30 seconds of the first half, so they'll take a lead into halftime up 31-25. In the top 25, the Johnnies have closed the gap a little bit against Xavier. Xavier was up at double digits at one point. It is 60-59 with 4:24 left, so that one is a fun one down the stretch. And how about South Carolina? A late lead over number 5 Florida, 65-63, minute 47 left in that one. On the women's side, George Mason and Davidson still going at it. Mason has overtaken Davidson, up 70-68, final 3 minutes there in the A10 women's basketball land. In the NBA, Nets hosting the Suns, Phoenix up 54-42 at halftime. Kurt Sippel reporting. You can follow along with his coverage on Twitter. And the Jimmy Butler saga continues in Miami. Miami Heat planning to suspend Butler for 2 games with, quote, multiple instances of contact detrimental to the team. Devils hosting the Bruins. They're up 2-1 after 2 unanswered goals from Mercer and Hamilton. With the one-on-one scoreboard update, I'm Lou Orlando.
Welcome back inside Gentile Arena. I'm Nick Guzman alongside Chaz McAdams. Fordham with a 27-25 lead over Loyola Chicago with 3:07 to go in the first half when we come out of this media timeout. Jaffe Medor, Chaz, will be at the free throw line for 2 shots. He's got 10 points on 4 of 6 shooting, 2 of 4 from deep. Jaffe really has been just everything that this Fordham team could ask for. He's been active on the defensive end as well. And you mentioned earlier how the efficiency wasn't quite there last year. That field goal percentage was down near 30% by the end of the year. But this year, Jaffe really has been a different animal, especially in conference play. And now it's almost like a 2-headed monster you have to contend with in terms of Fordham's guards with Jaffe Medor and Jackie Johnson.
Yeah, I mean, when Jackie's firing all cylinders, there's no stopping him, especially when you run such a big, heavy lineup as the Ramblers do. But it brings positives and negatives on both sides of the ball because we saw that 3-2 zone getting fried by Watson down low. And even guys like Quinn have been able to get through and make quick work of that zone defense. I think man-to-man's your best option. There's not as many mismatches with Jaffe Medor and Jackie Johnson as you think. They're both very strong for their position. Big players making big plays.
Jaffe goes 1 for 2 at the line. The second one clicks off the heel, so it's 28-25 Fordham. 3 minutes to go first half. This is Huinsu commanding the offense for the Ramblers to Dawson on this near side. Wide open in the corner is Edwards, and he knocks down the 3. Busted coverage there defensively for Fordham, and we're all tied up at 28.
It's that 3-2.
2:42 to go in the first half. Jackie Johnson up high for the Rams. Out wide for Zach Riley. Straight away for Josh Rivera. Handoff for Jaffe Medor. On this near side wing, Medor drives. He pumps. Loose in the lane. Ramad Dean goes to the ground with it. And then Dean throws it away. The other way goes Edwards for Dawson against Riley. No good. Ramad Dean the rebound. Johnson ahead for Medor. He's got Rivera. The lob. The jam. Josh Rivera throws it down. Fordham up by 2. It's 30-28 with 2 minutes to go in the first half.
Looking to maintain offensive prowess. Keep pushing the ball. Keep getting those fast break looks. You'll get some points on the board, or at the worst, you'll get to the line.
Fordham sticking with this 3-2 zone look. Down low, they're going to flip it up. Ramad Dean got a hand on it. Last touch off of Dean. It'll be Rambler basketball underneath.
It's really about, in that 3-2, because you have someone riding so low on the block in guys like Huinsu, that lob attempt was for. Now Edwards Jr. replacing him. You have to maintain that backdoor help. Great job by Ramad Dean.
Zona in for Riley, 1:48 to go. First half, 10 on the shot clock. The ball's on the far side wing for Jaden Dawson. Dawson looking to attack. Up high, blocked away by Rivera. It'll go all the way to the backcourt. There's 2 on the shot clock. The 3 from 3/4 court. That shot is no good, and it's going to be a shot clock violation after the miss by Edwards. Active hands from these Rams in the passing lanes.
Again, I told you there's something about what makes a team great. If you can rally around yourselves, you know what I mean? You get put in an unfortunate position after that heartbreaking loss. You start 0-5. Rally around each other.
Jaffe Medor into the front court. Trey Woodall will call timeout with 1:31 to go in the first half. The score, Fordham 30, Loyola Chicago 28 for Fordham. Jackie Johnson has 11. Jaffe Medor also with 11. Loyola Chicago with 5 turnovers. Fordham with 9. And the Rams really, I think all things considered, has been about as good of a half as you could ask for on both ends. Yes, there's been some breakdowns with the 3-2 zone, leaving open shooters, but I think the compete level has been there. We've seen diving plays from Jaffe Medor trying to get to loose balls. We've seen Josh Rivera breaking up passes, and I think as a reason for that, Fordham now up by 2 here.
Right, I mean, think about it, right? So they got 11 points off turnovers. They have 3 blown coverages on threes. That's 9. I think besides one layup, one lob, and those 2 contested threes, all the points that the Ramblers have gotten have been predicated on Ram mistakes. If you clean up your defense, clean up your offense a little bit efficiency-wise, the Ramblers are nowhere near in the position they think they are in this game.
So 1:31 to go in the first half. 30-28 Fordham. Josh Rivera inbounds to Jaffe Medor. In the front court at the Loyola Chicago logo. 3-2 zone look for the Ramblers on this possession. Johnson has it up high. Swung quickly near side wing for Medor. Up high for Johnson. He'll pop the deep triple. That's short. Rebound loose in the lane. Miles Rubin with the rebound. Back the other way comes Huinsu. Huinsu into the corner. The fake from Watson. He'll drive baseline. They'll kick back out to the perimeter. Fordham again in the zone. Huinsu on this near side wing. Johnson the pressure there. Huinsu attacks to the corner. Edwards, the dribble, the 3, that's good. Sheldon Edwards puts Loyola Chicago on top. It's 31-30. 45 seconds to go first half. Again, the Ramblers taking advantage of that zone. Loyola Chicago in a similar look on defense on this end. Dean penetrates. He traveled. That's going to be a turnover on Ramad Dean. Not a great end to this half here for the Rams. It's 31-30, Loyola Chicago, 35.9 on the clock. About a 5.9 second differential between shot clock and game clock here.
So you don't think Drew Valentine, he's not going to go for the 2-for-1 here. He's going to use all the shot clock.
Huinsu will carry the ball up court for the Ramblers. 28 on the game clock. Straight away, Dawson will hold. Medor pressuring him. Dawson, 10 on the shot clock, 15 on the game clock. He'll attack. Dawson up high. Edwards again. The fake. Again the 3. He gets it to go. Sheldon Edwards. It's a 4-point Loyola Chicago lead. 5 seconds to go. Zach Riley gets bumped in transition. And with 4.3 on the game clock, that's the 7th foul against Loyola Chicago.
Edwards, man. Again, I told you, watch out for him operating up high. He's so good at using those up fakes to his advantage. So good. So good at maintaining composure. He can play the 5, he can play the 2, everything in between, defensively, offensively. Just a great A-10 player all around.
1-on-1 chance for Zach Riley. He gets the front half, so we'll get to shoot the second one as well. That snaps a 2-minute scoreless drought for Fordham. I think in the second half, going to have to think about the way they want to set up on the defensive end. Can't keep leaving these shooters open. It's in and out from Riley. He goes 1 for 2. 3 seconds. Up ahead is Quinn. The 3 on the far side. Did he get it off? It's no good anyway. That was Des Watson elevating on the far side, and that will take us in to the halftime break. It was a really positive first half for Fordham, but Loyola Chicago with the 34-31 lead. We'll send it back to our Rose Hill Studios for the one-on-one halftime report with Daniel Melia.
The one-on-one halftime report.
Back here in a frigid New York, 16 degrees outside, but plenty warm in the studio. Daniel Melia alongside Lou Orlando. After, honestly, what was one of the best first halves of Fordham basketball we've seen all year, still they trail 34-32, but I mean, it was pretty good.
Yeah, I think vibes are certainly the highest that they've been going into a halftime, at least in A10 play. Bar's pretty low, considering the way the season started against St. Louis and Bonaventure. But And when you think about recent games that haven't ended up on their side despite margins that are decreasing by the game, this one felt like their most complete half. They shoot well. It feels like the offense is in sync. But you hear Nick talk about it right at the end, right as he's about to send it back to us. Fordham's going to have to think about what they're doing defensively. Can they sit in that 2-3 zone against this Loyola Chicago team that has that big three-headed monster of guards? Are you doing enough defensively to win this game? Because for a while, it looked like Fordham was going to take a lead into halftime, and we were going to be very positive, hey, vibes are high. And I think vibes can still be high when we talk about what happened in this half, but you end up looking at a first half of stats from Loyola Chicago and going, they're still getting theirs on the offensive end. Not sure the Rams want to be in an offensive shootout.
They certainly do not, given how abysmal they have been from three-point range on the season. Also, minor correction, misspoke because I was about to talk about the 2-3 zone. 34-31 at the half. But in any case, 33.2% from deep on the season for Fordham. You know, that's not a number you want to see out of a team that tossed up, man, how many was it? 15 three-pointers in the first half, and they hit 40% of them. But I don't think that they can win a shootout. Let's go back, though, to that 2-3 zone decision. Obviously, it worked to start for Fordham. They were beating Loyola Chicago in the low block. Abdou Simbila played some really good defense down there. He did not give up on post-ups. And Loyola Chicago wasn't hitting from deep. Then we hit about the 4-minute mark. Suddenly, everything changes. Loyola knocks down 5 in the last 5 minutes. What do you think coming out of the second half? Do you want to see them sit in that 2-3 zone, or are you changing up the defensive look?
I think I'm changing it. I think you come out in the man defense. I want to see the classic Fordham press break. I think that's risky because what makes this Loyola Chicago team tick, you heard Nick and Chaz give love to Edwards. It's Edwards, Watson, and Dawson. They have these 3 guards. They're all averaging about 12 points per game, and they've all been around the block. You got 2 fifth-years and you got a junior. So these are not young kids that are going to be easily flustered. These are kids that have been playing this game at a high level for multiple years now. So there's danger there with going to the full court press. To me, this is a backcourt that should be able to dissect a full court press and have success. That shouldn't completely dismantle their offense. But I do think it's something different. And just applying pressure, Loyola Chicago got on that strong run at the end of halftime. I don't think it's a bad idea considering how slow Fordham has gotten out to some of these second halves. Come out with pressure, turn defense into offense. A lot of times that's been the key for Fordham when they're at their best. If you want to run the transition game is, all right, force the turnovers, and the fun will happen on the other side. That go into a full court press, a lot of time I think that makes this team engaged, even if it doesn't work on a possession-to-possession basis.
And we've seen Ergo do that a lot of times this season.
And we'll see if Trey Woodall, if it's a difference. I think this is really some of the most we've seen Fordham sitting in that zone. And there have been times where I've been critical of Ergo for going away from the zone because it was working. Mm-hmm. I remember in the San Francisco game, the 2-3 zone worked and helped them get back close, and then they went away from it, and San Francisco exploited the man defense. So to a certain extent, I was curious as to Woodall staying in the 2-3 zone, giving it a little bit more time than we usually see Fordham play with it. I'm curious if we see the same amount of patience with that set come second half.
Yeah, we will have to see how they come out of the second half, and you make a great point about how they have started second halves all season. There's one word for it. Flat.
Yes.
And that has been a tremendous issue because they've been able to keep it close almost every first half of the season. And they come out, they dig themselves a hole, 10 to 12 points, and they end up giving the game away. I mean, it's really a troubling trend, so we'll see if they keep that up. One thing that has encouraged me, though, active hands on defense and on the offensive glass so far this game from the Rams. They have really looked energized. I think the week off helped them. They've been jumping in passing lanes, a lot of deflections. They've gotten fortunate with some bounces on the offensive glass, but they are still out rebounding Loyola Chicago on the offensive glass 7-2. That's a pretty remarkable gap.
And listen, we can talk luck all day long. It's basketball. There's some share of luck, especially when you're talking about hustle stats. I think that's why coaches preach the certain aspects of their own attitude system. And for Ergo, it's called attitude. Other places, it's probably called different things, but it's a similar concept of, all right, we're sprinting for loose balls. We're boxing out. we're crashing, we're pressuring, we want to do all these little things right because it's going to translate to success. Just putting yourselves in the position to be the benefactor of luck. There's going to be odd bounces.
Absolutely.
Fordham has not really done that this year, especially on the rebounding end. You think back to the VCU game. VCU is a team that absolutely dominates the glass, and that's the reason Fordham lost that game. Were there other reasons? Yes, but they let up 25 offensive rebounds. Yeah, you're not going to win that game. They go against Davidson the very next game. Davidson's not great on the glass, and it's still not a strength for Fordham. I didn't even think it was a strength against UMass. I thought it got a little bit better. To me, this is the first time in A10 play that we've seen Fordham clearly be the better team on the glass, especially on the offensive end. They did a nice job against UMass. They got their offensive rebounds. They just didn't get their defensive rebounds. Now I'm seeing all of it come together. That's an important thing for the Rams. They used to be a good rebounding team. They haven't been this year. That is something that can very much change the way this season is going, and probably does need to change if Fordham is going to change things.
Let us hope that they can make this a trend, regardless of the outcome of this game. 18-11 in total in the first half on rebounds. As I said, 7-2 on the offensive glass. One thing, though, that has remained a problem for Fordham, turnovers. 10-5 in the first half. 14 points for the Ramblers off turnovers to Fordham's 3. I mean, what can we say that hasn't already been said?
Yeah, I start to wonder if that's just part of the Fordham game. I don't think this offense is ever going to get to a point where you look back and you go, oh my God, it's so smooth, it's so quick. They move the ball so well. They're so careful with the ball.
Yeah,
I just don't think
Fordham.
that's Fordham basketball. And they have playmakers, and it seems like the modem of operation is we're going to get the ball into the hands of Johnson or Medor. We're going to let them make a play. We're going to have the high screen action, and we'll see what happens. And to their credit, I think this was a good first half for Medor and Johnson. And to me, the success that Medor has had in A10 play is a reminder of the player he can be and how important he is to this team's offensive success. He faded into the background in non-conference play, and Jameer Tripp assumed a larger role. Tripp's faded back into the background as A10 play has started, and you're facing elite A10 defenses. And Jaffe Medor is sitting over here going, hey, remember me? I was your leading scorer last year until I fractured my foot.
Leading scorer today, by the way, with 11 points in the first half.
I can still be that guy. He's got that game-changing athleticism and playmaking ability. I think it's actually a nice compliment to Jackie Johnson, who we know he takes a high volume of shots. It's not that Medor isn't, but at times I think he's more selective, and it looks different. It's a lot more driving. It's some more playmaking. When the two of them have been playing at their best, and I think that's the past few games, I know it hasn't translated to wins yet. I think it is going to. And I think that's a nice 1-2 punch that teams in the A10 you're going to have to look out for. It's not easy to keep two shifty guards in front of you for a full 40 minutes. They had success in the first half. I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. Now it's, hey, let's get Jameer Tripp involved. I still think he can be a factor in conference play, or who's the role player that's going to step up? Is it Ramad Dean? We know how electric Josh Rivera can be. He had one of his highlight reel dunks.
And
He's
a deep
good for
three.
At least one every game. Josh Rivera does something. You go, that's pretty fun, man. He's a fun basketball player. So, it's you want Johnson, you want Medor, stay up at that pace, and then, all right, give me a bench player, or give me another role player that's going to really take over. And maybe that makes up for if you don't lock Loyola Chicago down defensively in the second half.
I'm looking for Matt Zona, who did not put up a point in that first half.
Chaz is going to love that. He's all over that.
I'd love to see him put some stuff together. This is a guy who transferred from Notre Dame. We know he's got the talent. He's just got to use it. So, looking into this second half, I look at Medor. He played 17 minutes in that first half, game's leading scorer, alongside Sheldon Edwards Jr. from Loyola Chicago. They both have 11. I look at Josh Rivera. He's only played 12 minutes. Hopefully he can stay out there some more time. You said at the top of this broadcast, this is a winnable game for Fordham. Having watched the first half, I'm very inclined to agree with you. I really do think this one's out there for the taking. What, in your opinion, do they have to do, number one item on the agenda, to bring home the first A10W of the year in this second half?
We started the halftime show with it, and it does come back to it. It's the defense. You can't let up the amount of easy shots that you're letting up. I don't know how many games you win. You can win games, but this Fordham team is not going to be in a great position when they're allowing 46% from the field and 41% from three. It's a Loyola Chicago team that's pretty good at the three ball. Top 6 in the A-10. That puts them in, I would say, the top third of the A-10. We're being a little loose with the math, but I think
top
you'll
40%, but close enough.
We'll let it slide. So this is a Loyola Chicago team, especially with their guards. They can shoot. They shoot pretty well from the field. Need to knock those numbers down. I think the field goal percentage needs to get down at least on par with what Fordham's doing. Because, again, what Fordham's doing offensively, I really don't have that many qualms with, but it wasn't enough. You're down 3 at halftime. For this to not be a matter of luck, to come down to the final minute and hitting a game-winning shot or defending the game-winning shot, to put you in a position where you can win this game in the final 5 minutes and not necessarily have to sweat out the final possession, the defense needs to tighten up. And, of course, you need to keep your foot in the gas when it comes to the rebounding, because if you let that margin start to shrink, well, then you're allowing second chance points, and it becomes a whole thing, and it unravels in a way that we've seen unravel in conference games of late for this team.
Very good point. Can't emphasize defense enough, really. I'll make 2 quick notes. Free throws, we talked about it before the game, talk about it again. They're both 5 of 7 today. I wouldn't be surprised if this game comes down to free throws. Seems to as well, every single time. Also, shot selection. We saw Jackie Johnson pull some signature deep threes. It almost had me saying, oh my goodness, Johnson! That is not the shot. Hopefully he can continue to make good choices with the basketball in his hands in the second half. That's going to do it for this one-on-one halftime with Lou Orlando. I've been Daniel Melia. You will hear from us again after the game, hopefully, in the wake of Fordham's first A-10 win. Back out to Gentile Arena with Nick Guzman and Chaz McAdams.
Hey guys, it's John Trip from Fordham Men's Basketball. You can catch all of our games on 90.7 FM and the WFUV Sports YouTube page. And make sure to fill the hill this season as we celebrate 100 years in the Rose Hill Gym. WFUV is the home of Fordham basketball. Go Rams.
Welcome back inside Gentile Arena here in Chicago. I'm Nick Guzman alongside Chaz McAdams at the break. The score is Loyola Chicago 34, Fordham 31. Chaz, Fordham had the lead for most of that first half, but some breakdowns in that 3-2 zone defensively down the stretch, some open threes from Sheldon Edwards Jr., the king of the pump fake, the one dribble, and then knocking down the 3. Fordham are going to have to tighten up on those three-point shooters if they stick with the zone look, if they stick with it at all, that is.
Yeah, I think that Edwards has just been great, and he's been preying on the over-aggression of the Fordham defense. Kids out there looking to make a play, you know what I mean, get a good shot contest out there, not always going to pay off, getting those up fakes up. He has been fantastic, and to be honest, the key to this Rambler lead.
For Fordham as a team, they're shooting 42% from the field and 40% from deep, 71% from the free throw line. Loyola Chicago at 46% from the field, 42% from deep. It's Edwards Jr., their leading scorer, with 11 points for Fordham. Jaffe Medor and Jackie Johnson tied for the team lead with 11 each. Medor on 4 of 6 shooting. Jackie on 3 of 7. You'd like to have had the lead at halftime, Chaz, but you kind of falter in those last 2 minutes there after Coach Woodall took that timeout, and now the Rams are going to have to fight from behind with a three-point deficit.
This has been the weakest whatever you call it, length of time in
from
the Fordham
now until
Rams
the
ranks.
under 16 media time.
Exactly. I don't know chunk of time in the Fordham Rams resume. Can't happen today. Can't happen tonight.
We saw Fordham in a dogfight a couple games ago against VCU and then came out completely flat to start the second half in that period between the start of the half and the under 16 media timeout, and they never got the lead back. And that's something that really, it can kill you if you don't start the second half well, especially considering how poorly Fordham ended it. They're going to need a strong start here in the second 20 minutes. But they're right here on the road in a hostile environment. Student section has been really, really loud directly behind us. Almost have to put your hands on your headphones, Chaz, when they're really getting loud and into it on free throws.
Yeah.
But it's a great atmosphere here in Chicago. We saw Sister Jean here earlier, gave a speech to the crowd before the game.
Traditional.
As is tradition. She's in attendance tonight, trying to will the Ramblers to victory. But Fordham trying to do something about it. The Rams will inbound to start the second half. Zach Riley into Jaffe Medor, and we're underway here in the second half. Medor, near side wing, handoff for Zach Riley. Abdu Timbila with it. Medor, straight away. Kick out to this near side wing for Zach Riley. It's all on the perimeter here for the Rams. Jackie Johnson on the far side. 10 on the shot clock. Jackie has it straight away. Timbila the screen. Jackie needs somewhere to go. 7 on the shot clock. Jackie drives. Lefty floaters. Perfect. Nifty move from Jackie Johnson. Fordham right back within 1. It's 34-33 Ramblers.
Shot clock winding. Jackie Johnson knows that he's able to make those lefty floaters. That's his bag. Those are the shots.
Straight away. This is Huinsu starting the second half for the Ramblers, working against Riley, who takes the bump. Huinsu, right block, backs down. The pass. Rubin wasn't there. It's going to be a turnover. Ball went out of bounds on the baseline. Good work from both Riley and Timbila down low to force that turnover, Chaz.
Absolutely. Riley going chest forward, hands back. Great player, great defense. On a size mismatch that you don't normally see, Riley using his strength, getting in Ram fit. You know that he's been in there working hard all year.
Dean inbounds here to Medor. Fordham will take the ball ahead. Johnson across the timeline. That 3-2 zone look here once again for Loyola Chicago. Medor, near side wing. Straight away for Johnson. Riley has it now. Johnson will pop the deep triple. That's an air ball. And that'll go out of bounds on the baseline. Chaz, I'm not sure that's the way to beat the 3-2 zone, is the really deep three.
No, I think he's just trying to go beyond the defense, trying to get something going. Jackie, he knows that he's an offensive spark plug, wants to make something happen for his team.
Jalen Quinn up ahead for Loyola Chicago. Drive down on Riley, put an arm into him and lost it. Strong defense from Zach Riley. Back the other way, Riley finds Johnson in the corner. Medor, near side wing. Will drive, Medor all the way to the cup. He gets fouled, and Jaffe Medor will go to the free throw line. Talk about strong work on the defensive end from Zach Riley.
Strong on the offensive end, too. You know, it's not easy to get by Quinn like that. Just Jaffe so strong. Shoulder to chest action. Edwards as well, getting the contact through a double team. Jaffe is at his best when he's attacking the rack and getting to the line.
2 shots coming here for Jaffe Medor. Already got 11 points on the night. First free throw is good. Jaffe up near 85% on the season from the free throw line. He's Fordham's best free throw shooter. We're all tied up at 34. 18:26 to go. First half, and the second shot coming here for Jaffe Medor. Second free throw, good as well from Jaffe. Fordham by 1. 1:30 gone by here. Second half, rather. Sheldon Edwards Jr. across the timeline. Edwards to the far side wing. Up high for Rubin. Backdoor cut off the foot of Edwards, and that's going to be a turnover.
That's what I'm talking about, but these mental mistakes, that's what's killed this Loyola team. They're kind of similar to Fordham in that way where they're beating themselves.
Medor across the timeline for the Rams. At the logo, Ramad Dean has it, top of the key. Dean handoff for Johnson, fakes the 3. He'll drive left, gets inside, got the roll with the left hand. Another strong move at the rim from Jackie Johnson. It's Fordham by 3. 2 minutes gone by, second half. That's got to be an offensive foul, and it is called against Sheldon Edwards. More strong play from Zach Riley. Takes the bump in the lane, and that's going the other way. They've been pushing off on him all game.
All day, you know what I mean? Zach, again, he knows that shoulder to chest recipe. If he falls back hard enough, he's just a great defensive player. So much game knowledge. He's poised to play pro over in New Zealand after his last year here with the Rams, and you can tell why.
He might not light up the box score on the offensive end, but the intangibles that he provides, so valuable for this Fordham team. Jaffe Medor up high. Ramad Dean, top of the key for Fordham. Handoff on the perimeter for Johnson, right in front of Trey Woodall. Johnson down low for Timbila's got the positioning on Rubin. Timbila flips it up, couldn't get it to go. And that's going to be a foul down low.
2 shots.
2 shots coming for Abdu.
I think it might be Ramad. I think the foul might be on the putback.
And I believe you're right. It's going to be 2 shots coming here. 17-29.
Offensive interference.
Oh, it's offensive interference on the Rams. That's the call. So Fordham will have to get back on defense.
Goaltending. Jeez, we're all over the place.
We're sorry, people. Goaltending is the call. New time zone got me all tripped up.
Yeah.
39-34 Fordham. 17:21 to go, second half. Edwards feeds the post. The spin blocked away by Timbila. I think they're going to get Dean on the foul. Wakoria went up for it, and he'll shoot 2 free throws at the line.
Yeah, Romad, what a player. Just what a guy that gets down and dirty. Abdu coming into his own, finally looking like that preseason first-team all-defense player that we know and love.
Francis Wakoria in his first season at Loyola Chicago. Transfer from UC San Diego. He was a 1,000-point scorer out on the West Coast. 2 shots coming for him here. First free throw is good. I mentioned how poor this Loyola Chicago team has been from the free throw line this season. So far today, a respectable 6 for 8.
75%.
Second free throw good as well from Wakoria. 39-36 Fordham. 17-13 to go. Second half, when we mentioned, Chaz, how important this period is before the under-16 media timeout, and Fordham have started really positively here in the second half.
Absolutely. Defense is winning them games right now. This is what Keith Urgo dreamed of.
But again, the zone look for Loyola Chicago. Johnson feeds down low. Dean went up for it, and they're going to get Abdu, I think, for the offensive foul.
He
was
steal.
Backing down his defender, trying to create a lane for Ramad Dean.
Yeah, he tried to Gortat the screen there.
Exactly.
And they didn't let him fall for it. If it's short action like that, they don't usually let you get away with it. Abdu's been great. Want to see some offensive production here from Matt Zona. Make an impact on the game, Rockland County.
With 3 fouls, Abdu will take a seat on the bench. Des Watson quickly into the front court for Loyola Chicago, attacking on Zona. He'll retreat. Dawson drives to the corner. Wakoria thought about it. Loose pass on the perimeter will come all the way to Watson. He pumps. Now we'll try the 3. Des Watson buries it. We're all tied up at 39. 16:30 to go, second half. Fordham quickly ahead the other way. Jaffe Medor has it up top. Again, the 3-2 zone look from Loyola Chicago. Medor out to the far side for Johnson. Riley down low for Dean, able to corral the pass. Spins in the lane. He took a bump. That's going to be a travel called against Ramad Dean. Never really had that ball cleanly, it didn't look like.
Yeah, just off the fingertips. You hate to see that. Those little mistakes are going to eventually stack up. Fordham in a tie game situation right now. Have to be able to execute.
Dean out, Rivera in. 16:14 to go, second half. We're all tied up at 39. Des Watson will dribble the ball ahead for the Ramblers. Watson accelerates at the free throw line, now retreats. He'll drive baseline. Watson off the glass, shot no good. Rivera flies in for the rebound. Johnson ahead for Zach Riley. Riley for Jackie. On this near side wing, Johnson crossover, up high Rivera. Fakes the 3. Handoff on the far side for Riley. And that's going to be a travel called against Fordham.
Illegal screen for Josh on the dribble handoff. Positives and negatives from that time.
Illegal screen called on Josh Rivera, so that'll take us to our under-16 media timeout with 15:49 to go in the second half. We are all tied up at 39. You're listening to Fordham men's basketball on WFUV Sports.
Hi, this is Michael Kay, WFUV class of 1982. WFUV is your home for all things Fordham athletics, with live coverage of Fordham football, Fordham men's and women's basketball, in addition to our Saturday show, One on One. Stay right here on 90.7 FM for all things WFUV Sports.
Welcome back to Chicago. Nick Guzman here alongside Chaz McAdams here at Gentile Arena. Fordham and Loyola Chicago all tied up at 39 with 15:49 to go in this second half. Chaz, we talked about how crucial the period from the start of the second half of the under 16 media timeout is Fordham outscores the Ramblers 8-5 in that period, but still you feel like there's some things for them to improve on. Jackie Johnson, their leading scorer, with 15 points on 5 of 10 shooting. That 3 from Watson really got this crowd back energized after a slow start to the second half from the Ramblers.
Yeah, you just really want to take the wind out of their sails. Team, crowd, coaching staff, all the way into the athletic department, the cheerleaders, the concession stands. You make big plays. Zach Rowley draws some more charges. Those are the plays that silence opponent arenas.
So it's 39-39, 15:49 to go in the second half. We've hit our first media timeout. Loyola Chicago next up will hit the road to take on George Mason down in Fairfax, Virginia next Wednesday. They don't have a game this weekend, able to take advantage of that weekend off as Fordham did this past weekend. Maybe a good thing after Fordham really exhausted everything in the reserves in that triple overtime game, having that full week before this game.
Huge. Yeah, exactly.
Came at a huge time for these Rams. Loyola Chicago will inbound coming out of this media timeout. Fordham's 5, Josh Rivera, Jaffe Medor, Matt Zona, Jameer Tripp, and Ryan Pettis. Inbounded here to Jalen Quinn. Looks like more of a 3-2 zone look for Fordham again. Dawson across the timeline. Rivera's the man in the middle. Quinn has it at the logo for Loyola Chicago. Watson now up high. For Quinn, near side wing. Quinn to the corner. Tripp with the steal. The zone works to perfection on that sequence, and Medor can carry ahead for the Rams. 15:22 to go, second half. Medor for Zona up high. Coming around the screen is Tripp. Tripp, crossover, top of the key for Josh Rivera, near side wing. The screen from Tripp, Rivera in the corner. That's Medor. Medor drives baseline. 8 on the shot clock. Jaffe looking to attack. He's loose with it in the lane. It'll come to Tripp. 4 seconds to shoot. And that's going to be a travel on Jameer Tripp as he went to the hoop.
What? This game, the amount of off-ball fouls I've seen has been ridiculous on both sides. The refs are calling a fair game because the mental mistakes are unruly.
That's 4 turnovers for the Rams in the last 2:30. They're scoreless in that time period as well. Quinn, near side wing for Watson, up high for Quint in the middle of the zone. Kick to the corner. That's a 3 in and out. Dawson couldn't get it to go. Tripp the rebound. Still tied at 39, 14:40 to go. Second half. Jameer Tripp up high. Crossover. Tripp from the free throw line. That's an air ball. Zona with the rebound. Out back to Pettis for Tripp. Rivera drives. Rivera gets inside. Shot wouldn't go. Able to grab his own board and forces it back up and in. Just raw determination from Josh Rivera. And then a travel in the backcourt by Dawson. And guess who provided the pressure, Chaz? Jaffe Medor.
Absolutely. Forcing these mental mistakes. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. There's no way that look at all these. It's crazy. How many off-ball fouls have we seen? The illegal screen, the goaltending, the amount of travels. Now it's Fordham ball. You have to capitalize.
Tripp will inbound underneath. Finds Pettis near side wing. Pettis drives to the lane. Kick out to the far wing. Medor's open for 3, and he buries it. What a find by Pettis. What a shot by Medor. The Rams lead here 44-39 with 14:08 to go second half.
Keeping the 3-2 in the press, taking away the middle.
Jalen Quinn across the timeline for Loyola Chicago. More pressure from the Rams. Dawson near side wing. Kicked up high for Quinn again. Rivera watching him. Out to the far wing for Watson. 13 to shoot for the Ramblers. Quinn up high. The feed down low. Deloach to the wing. Dawson up high again. It's Quinn. 5 to shoot. Quinn looking to drive out to the perimeter. Dawson lost it. They'll dive for it. Medor gets there. It's off his hands. That's going to be a shot clock violation. What effort from the Rams defensively. Jaffe Medor once again selling out to get that steal.
And look at the Rams bench. Look at Jaffe Medor. Look at this whole team. The guys in gray from the Bronx making every play the right way.
This is by far the most fired up Fordham's bench has been this season. It's because of all the effort plays we've seen out there. Makes it easy to root for. Jameer Tripp will inbound for the Rams in the front court. All the way to Pettis in the backcourt. He'll dribble ahead. Pettis, handoff for Rivera. Top of the key, flipped up for Zona. Handoff for Johnson on the far side. Jackie looking to attack. Forced to retreat. Josh Rivera has it. 6 on the shot clock. Zona from mid-range. Off the front of the rim and out. Jaden Dawson the rebound. Back the other way for the Ramblers. Dawson inside the lay. That's good. Huinsu got the roll off the front of the rim. 44-41 Fordham. 13 minutes to go, second half. Ryan Pettis straight away for the Rams. Jackie Johnson has it far wing for Josh Rivera. 3-2 zone look again from Loyola Chicago. The feed down low, trip to Zona. Can't finish at the rim, but he gets fouled. Great find from Pettis to get it inside to Tripp, who then got it to Zona. Couldn't finish, but he was fouled at the rim.
Natural point forward, Jameer Tripp. Zona got to get his at the line. Again, a guy that beats himself up, needs that goldfish memory. Mental fortitude is so key for a player like Zona. He's got to hit these. He's great from the line. Didn't have the best performance from the charity stripe in that triple overtime outing versus UMass. Different story here, hopefully.
Just 5 for 11 from the line in that game against UMass. Zona scoreless so far tonight. Knocks down the first free throw. He's normally a very good free throw shooter.
Exactly.
He was an anomaly that game against UMass.
Agreed.
On the season, he's down near 70% just because of that game. Before that, it was up near 80. Gets the first one to go, so it's Fordham by 4. Second shot coming for Matt Zona. Zona goes 2 for 2 at the line. 46-41 Fordham. 12:49 to go, second half. Kuinsu in the backcourt, watched closely by Josh Rivera. The Rams sticking to their 3-2 zone. Kuinsu. Handoff up high. Sheldon Edwards Jr. has it. For Huinsu, inside, out for Edwards. He'll penetrate. Watson open for 3. No good. Off the heel. Jackie Johnson the rebound. Into the front court on the far side for the Rams. Straight away for Ryan Pettis at the logo. Pettis drives, took a bump, able to recover. Will kick out to the perimeter, stolen away by Edwards. Edwards will go all the way. He slams it home. 46-43 Fordham, 12 minutes to go, second half. Ill-advised pass there from Ryan Pettis. Johnson at the logo. Far wing for Josh Rivera. Johnson, free throw line, it's Tripp. He'll spin from mid-range, that's short. Rubin cleans up with the rebound. Kuinsu up ahead for Edwards. Watson attacks Zona with the left hand, got it to go. Ramblers back within 1, and a timeout called by Trey Woodall. 46-45. Fordham with the lead. Loyola Chicago with 4 quick points, though, and that will take us also to our under 12 media timeout with 11:40 to go in the second half. You're listening to Fordham men's basketball on WFUV Sports, and we'll send it back to our Rose Hill studios for the one-on-one scoreboard with Lou Orlando.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
Well, we're starting to get some final scores on the East Coast, and we'll start, of course, in the A-10. UMass defeats GW 74-61. That's 3 straight for the Minutemen. 4-3 in A-10 play after sitting dead last in the conference for all of non-con. It's a much different story for GW. They were 11-2 in non-conference play. They are 2-4 in conference play. That's tied for second worst in the A-10. Shocking win there by UMass over a GW team that falls to 13-6. Slew a comfortable lead over LaSalle, 45-29, St. Louis ahead. In the top 25, St. John's was able to force overtime against Xavier, and the Johnnies win despite a scare from the Musketeers. Number 5, Florida just barely skates by USC 70-69, but 2 ranked teams ultimately come out top up there in the NCAA top 25. On the women's side, George Mason completes the comeback over Davidson, an 81-73 win, so it's wins by Mason, Dayton, and St. Joe's today, all 6-2 in conference play, tied for second in the A-10. Fordham now outside the top 4 at 5-2. They've got a game against St. Bonaventure coming up Saturday at the Rose Hill Gym. A chance to get back in the top 4 again. Still plenty of time before A-10s. Jets hire new head coach Aaron Glenn, former Jet, former Pro Bowler with the Jets. That's exciting. With the one-on-one scoreboard update, I'm Lou Orlando.
Back inside Gentile Arena, Nick Guzman here alongside Chaz McAdams. Fordham with a 46-45 lead over Loyola Chicago with 11:40 to go. in the second half. Chaz, a really positive start to the second half for the Rams. This last sequence, though, getting a little loose on the offensive end with some turnovers. Loyola Chicago able to get out in transition and cut this thing down to a one-point game. Coach Woodall thinking it's a good time to call a timeout and talk things over.
You got to make Jaffe the Iron Man. You got to leave it all out on the floor out there today. I know he's tired. I know he's feeling it. Triple overtime a week ago. He is the key to this victory on both ends of the ball.
Jaffe has been so good in this game. He's Fordham's leading scorer with 16 points on 5 of 7 from the field, 3 of 5 from deep, and 3 of 4 from the free throw line. Also has 3 assists and 3 rebounds to go with it. And Chad, it's hard to ask a player to play the entire second half, but I think they're going to need to get Jaffe back out there and figure out whatever he has in the tank. Fordham are going to need it if they want a victory here on the road in an extremely hostile environment here in Chicago.
Something to consider, too, is Abdu's foul trouble. How long can you go offense majority with Zona? Underrated defender, in my opinion, but you have to get Abdu back in the rotation at some point.
Medor across the timeline for the Rams coming out of the timeout. For Josh Rivera, near side wing. For Matt Zona, top of the key. Zona, handoff for Medor. Medor takes some bumps. He'll drive, kick out. Zona's open for 3. No good. That's the look he wanted off the front of the rim. Sheldon Edwards Jr., the rebound. Watson, the other way for Loyola Chicago. On the far side, the handoff for Huinsu. Up high, this is Rubin. To the far side, Des Watson. He'll pull the triple in and out. Rebound Huinsu. Jackie Johnson stripped it away from him, though. And he'll enter the front court for Fordham. Active hands there from Jackie to get the steal. Johnson spins, lefty floater. That's his shot. Jackie Johnson automatic from there. And Fordham back up by 3. 10:44 to go, second half. Watson, straight away for Rubin. Rubin, backdoor cut. Dawson got behind Johnson and lays it in.
They were waiting for that action out of the high post. Rubin, great bounce pass, able to find his man.
48-47 Fordham, 10:25 to go, second half. Again, the 3-2 zone look from the Ramblers. Jackie Johnson on the far side, straight away for Josh Rivera. Near side wing, Jaffe Medor. Into the corner for Johnson. He'll try to triple. That's good! Jackie Johnson buries the 3. Fordham back up by 4. It's 51-47, 10 minutes to go, second half. Huinsu driving down low on Rivera. He took a bump, no call, and Huinsu finishes at the rim. The arm was extended from Huinsu. I don't know what else you need to do to get the call.
They're not going to call the charge every time. You got to know situationally. They just got one for Riley. Situational, good effort, though, from Rivera.
So Fordham by 2, 9:42 to go, second half. Jaffe Medor has it at the Loyola Chicago logo. Dean out wide for Johnson. Back to the middle, behind the back for Dean. Up high again for Johnson. That's going to be a foul off ball on Miles Rubin. My eyes were on the other side of the court at the ball, so not quite sure what happened there.
Zona trying to get position. Rubin again. He's extending those hands. Him and Huinsu just not disciplined enough on their respective ends of the ball. If you look up here, Zona again just trying to get some good positioning there. Too much of a fight from Rubin.
So with 9:32 to go in the second half, it's Fordham 51, Loyola Chicago 49. You're listening to Fordham men's basketball on WFUV Sports.
Hi, my name is Ryan Rucco, WFUV class of 2008. WFUV is your home for all things Fordham athletics, with live coverage of Fordham football, Fordham men's and women's basketball, in addition to our Saturday show, One-on-One. Stay right here on 90.7 FM for all things WFUV sports.
Back here inside Gentile Arena, Fordham with a 51-49 lead over Loyola Chicago with 9:32 to go in the second half. This is Nick Guzman here alongside Chaz McAdams. And Chaz, Fordham Jackie Johnson up to 20 points on the night, 7 of 12 shooting at a big corner three. Seems like they're going to need to lean on Jackie and they're going to lean on Jaffe offensively down the stretch here.
Yeah, I mean, it's that 1-2 punch up top, especially if they continue to run the 3-2. Find the gaps in the slot. That's right on the borders of the free throw line. Attack, kick out. If you're Jaffe, use your strength. If you're Jackie, go outside a little bit on the wing. They're not able to guard you that left side. You get guys like Huwinsu, you get guys like Dawson, Watson even, guys that aren't playing enough defense on you, and go make a play.
9:32 to go, second half, coming out of this timeout. It was a foul on the floor against Miles Rubin before we went to break. Fordham, you can't really ask to be in a better spot at this point of the game on the road here at Gentile Arena, up by 2 with 9:32 to go, second half. And an opportunity here for the Rams to try and seal out their first A10 win of the season. Still such a long way to go in this one. Rams need to keep their composure. Rivera inbounds to Zona. Zona on the perimeter now for Jaffe Medor. 3-2 zone look again. Check, that's man-to-man look here on this possession for Loyola Chicago. Zone on the near side wing. Out to the far side for Jackie Johnson. Crossover up high. Johnson down low. Zona's open. He puts it up and in. He got the roll. Strong move at the rim from Matt Zona. Fordham 53, Loyola Chicago 49. 9 minutes to go, second half. Up ahead, this is Glasscoff on the court for the first time in the second half for Dawson. Rubin top of the key against Zona. Rubin out to that far wing for Des Watson. Johnson fell down. The feed down low. Lob for Rubin. Miles Rubin throws it down. Loyola Chicago back within 2. 8:40 to go, second half. Jaffe Medor up high for the Rams. Near side wing for Josh Rivera. Fakes the three. Rivera drives. Rivera took a bump and finishes at the cup. Strong move again from Josh Rivera. 55-41 Fordham as the teams go back and forth here in Chicago. Des Watson in the front court for Loyola Chicago. On the near side wing. Flips up high for Rubin. Backing down on Zona. Got to watch for the cutters in this spot. Edwards Jr. on the far wing. 12 to shoot. Flip down low. Rubin got behind Zona and slams it down. 55-53 the Fordham lead. Under 8 minutes to go, second half.
So tight off that ball screen. Great play, and then Rubin able to just dunk it through.
Medor. Up high, this is Rivera. Near side wing for Jaffe Medor. Abdou Tambila readying to come back in the game. Rivera, the pass down low, stolen away by Watson. Edwards, the transition three, no good. Rebound off the hands of Jaffe and out of bounds. It'll be Loyola Chicago basketball as we'll reach the under 8 media timeout. Ill-advised shot there in transition from Edwards, but it's 55-53 Fordham, 7:37 to go, second half. You're listening to Fordham men's basketball on WFUV Sports.
What's up, everyone? I'm Lou Orlando.
I'm Nick Guzman.
And I'm Chaz McAdams.
We're your broadcasters for Fordham men's basketball.
Led by Jackie Johnson, Keith Urgo's Rams are looking to make waves in the 100th anniversary season at the Rose Hill Gym.
We've got you covered for the highs, the lows, the X's and O's as Fordham takes on the gauntlet of the A10.
Don't miss a game. 90.7 FM WFUV is the home of Fordham men's basketball.
Score is Fordham 55, Loyola Chicago 53 with 7:37 to go in the second half. We're here at Gentile Arena. Nick Guzman and Chaz McAdams with you for the call. Chaz, both teams going back and forth in terms of scoring in this last stretch. Fordham, 4 of their last 4 from the field. Loyola Chicago, 4 of their last 5. But it looks like Abdou Tambila coming out of this timeout will check back in favor of Matt Zona, who's Zona struggling a little bit to contain Miles Rubin down low.
Yeah, and you love that defense there. That you get from Zona. Again, you just hope that Abdou makes the mental adjustments. Those are key. The physicals are always going to be there for him, but the mentals That's the key for Abdu.
But he looked as locked in and as with it as we've seen in that first half. Yes, he has the 3 fouls, but in terms of getting his hands in passing lanes, had a couple of strips, and just was generally seemed to be in the right spot for that help defense, which isn't something we've been able to say about Abdu for most of this season.
No, the adjustments have been great out of Timbila. Cameroon's finest, able to make the mental errors go away, block out the noise, and just play Fordham basketball.
55-53, the score in favor of Fordham with 7:37 to go in the second half. Both these teams shooting right around 50% from the field. Fordham at 49%, Loyola Chicago at 51%. The Rams are shooting 42% from beyond the arc, a big reason why they have a 2-point lead in this game. Jackie Johnson with 20 points leads the way. Jaffe Medor with 16. Then Josh Rivera, the next closest, with 9. Coming out of this media timeout.
Interesting. Jaffe, the scorer in this lineup.
Dean, Timbila, Medor, Riley, and Pettis. That's the 5 for the Fordham Rams with 7:37 to go in the second half. Loyola Chicago will inbound in the front court on this near side through Des Watson. Watson inbounds up high to Glaskov. Straight away, this is Deloach. Deloach, handoff for Edwards Jr. against Pettis. Looking to drive. Edwards kicks out to the perimeter. Wakora wide for Watson. He'll drive. He spins the fadeaway off the rim. Timbila couldn't grab the board. Deloach pushed off with the left hand. No foul called. We're all tied up at 55. 7:10 to go, second half. Medor across the timeline for Fordham. Watched closely by Edwards. Dean the screen. Medor. Like you mentioned, Chaz, the scorer in this lineup. He'll drive, gets inside, kicks up high for Pettis. Pettis for Medor, 8 on the shot clock, near side wing. Medor, the pump, looking to drive, penetrates inside. He got fouled. Jaffe Medor so good at drawing contact in those spots. Shot clock winding down. Either you have to get it up or get fouled. He gets hand checked, and Fordham will inbound with a fresh 20 on the shot clock.
You need that from him. And keep note, these fouls are starting to stack up in the second half. We could be looking at some early bonus, double bonus action for the Rams.
It's 5 fouls against Loyola Chicago as a team, 3 against Fordham. Zach Riley to inbound underneath. Riley all the way up high for Jaffe Medor. In a tie game here in Chicago. Medor, near side wing, will pop the 3 off the rim and out. Rebound Loyola Chicago. Chance to take the lead here. Jaden Dawson up ahead. The near side wing for Watson. Riley jostling for position down low against Deloach. Down low for Nokore. Off the hands and out of bounds on the baseline. Loyola Chicago will keep it.
Good way to get in the passing lane by Riley. Tough assignment there as you have the behemoth Deloach, undefeated versus Fordham in his career. Absolute behemoth down low. And you get him on the mismatch on the block. Thank God they came away with it.
Edwards to inbound, gets it in. Dean with the steal, but they're going to call a foul as he poked it away from Des Watson from behind. No shot. It'll be a foul on the floor. That's the 4th team foul against the Rams.
Brutal call there.
They're trying to argue that this should be 2 shots. There's no way he was shooting.
I mean, yeah, whatever.
And Loyola Chicago will inbound underneath.
Now Fordham going to put some scores in.
Yep, Pettis and Dean check out. Tripp and Rivera back in. So more offensive options on the floor. Edwards inbounding underneath. Gets it inside. The slam from Deloach. Got matched up against Medor on that one. Loyola Chicago leads here by 2. 6:10 to go second half. Fordham playing from behind. They haven't scored in the last 2:15. It's a 6-0 run for Loyola Chicago. Medor, screen up high from Timbila. Straight away for Josh Rivera. Down low, stolen away by Deloach. The entry pass and the steal. Edwards Jr. down low for Deloach. Spinning on Josh Rivera. Deloach puts his head down. Shot got the bounce off the heel. Ramblers by 4. Fordham have to stay with it here. It's an 8-0 run for Loyola Chicago. They lead by 4. 5:40 to go second half. 3-2 zone look here for the Ramblers. Far side wing, Zach Riley. Straight away, Jameer Tripp. To the corner for Medor. Up high again for Tripp. Far side Riley, straightaway trip, under 10 on the shot clock. Trip, drives, feed down low, Rivera got bumped, no foul. Rebound Loyola Chicago, who can push back the other way. Des Watson has it on the far side wing. 4-point Loyola Chicago lead, 5:10 to go second half. Jaden Dawson at the logo against Josh Rivera. Dawson, crossover, he'll drive, he'll spin, the fadeaway's perfect. Great shot making from Jaden Dawson. It's a 6-point Loyola Chicago lead. And Jackie Johnson will head back to the scorer's table waiting to check in. So does Matt Zona, Jaffe Medor. On the far side wing. Timbila, handoff for Medor. Edwards pressuring up high. Medor got bumped. Medor drives, a lot of contact, couldn't get the roll, but 2 shots coming for Jaffe Medor. That ball was halfway down, but he'll shoot 2 from the line.
Major play there, Medor. Got to hit these here. Down 6, on the road. This is the play. This is where you decide if you want to compete in this game or not.
It's a 10-0 run for Loyola Chicago across the last 3 minutes 30. A 12-2 run across the last 4:15. Jaffe Medor desperately trying to stop that run here at the free throw line. It's been almost 4 minutes since Fordham scored a basket. And as such, the Ramblers will open up this 6-point lead. Josh Rivera tying his shoe in the lane, forcing Medor to delay a little bit. 2 shots coming for Jaffe as Gentile Arena gets loud behind me. First free throw is perfect from Jaffe Medor.
So good.
Zona and Jackie Johnson back in the game. Tripp and Timbila are out. So the 5 for the Rams: Rivera, Zona, Medor, Johnson, Riley. 1 more shot coming here for Jaffe Medor, already 17 on the night. Second shot from Jaffe is perfect as well. Back to a 4-point game, 61-57 Loyola Chicago, 4:34 to go second half. Inbound here to Watson. Up ahead into the front court, Watson straight away for Huinsu. Zach Riley watching him, Loyola Chicago in no hurry. Rivera tried to bust up that handoff. Watson has it. At the logo, 10 on the shot clock. Watson, the feed down low for Huinsu, attacking on Riley. Huinsu's pass down low, got it to Rubin. Zona defending there. Edwards with 2 on the shot clock. He'll have to heave a 3. No good. Rebound by Riley. Medor, the other way for the Rams. Under 4 to go second half. Fordham trails Loyola Chicago by 4. Medor, the crossover up high. Now on this near side wing. Looking for an option up high for Johnson. Jackie will drive. Now opts to retreat. 10 on the shot clock. Jackie, the crossover. Gets to the lane. Left hand off the glass and in. Beautiful move from Jackie Johnson. Fordham down by 2 at 61-59 with 3:30 to go second half. Timeout Loyola Chicago. Drew Valentine wants to talk things over. And that will take us into our under 4 media timeout. Loyola Chicago 61. Fordham 59. There's 3:31 to go in the second half. Stay with us. We'll send it back to our Rose Hill studios for the one-on-one scoreboard with Lou Orlando.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
One last check-in with the A10 men's basketball. UMass won their 3rd straight. They're now 5th in the A10. Rams are sweating one out in Chicago. That is not the case in St. Louis. St. Louis up 60-45 over LaSalle. Final minute and 39 seconds. So looking like St. Louis will improve to 12-7 on the season. In the NBA, Nets hosted the Suns. Phoenix triumphs 108-84. Nets lose their 5th straight. Yikes. Per WFUV's Kurt Sippel, a lot of scouts in the building tonight. Keep an eye for some movement out of Brooklyn at the deadline, as Brooklyn at the bottom of the Eastern Conference here. And we're over halfway through the NBA season. In the NHL, Devils take down the Bruins at home 5-1. It was 5 straight goals by New Jersey. 2 goals by Dawson Mercer led the way. A free agent signing that's been really good for them this year. Stefan Nason got his 18th of the year on the power play. Dominant win for New Jersey as they have been scuffling. If you missed it last night, Rangers defeated Ottawa 5-0. The highlight of the game, that would be Matt Rempe. Silky smooth backhand goal in the effort. Also got involved defending Igor Shesterkin after the whistle. Just a very on-brand Matt Rempe game. I would highly advise watching the highlight of his goal. People are saying he's the next Connor McDavid. Keep tabs on that. With the 1-on-1 scoreboard update, I'm Lou Orlando.
Back here inside Gentile Arena, we're swag surfing apparently. Student section getting back and forth with it. 61-59 Loyola Chicago, 3:31 to go second half. Fordham down by 2, but in a spot here where chance to win a game on the road in the A-10. Chaz, the offense in that last 5-6 minute stretch really dried up, and some elite shot making from Jackie Johnson gets Fordham out of the drought.
He is unreal. Jackie Johnson is a man unhinged right now, looking to capitalize on a Loyola defense that hasn't seemed to figure out that those lefty floaters are his bread and butter.
So 61-59 Loyola Chicago. There's 3:31 to go in the second half. Loyola Chicago calling timeout on that last sequence. And Edwards will inbound in front of their bench in the front court. 3:31 on the clock. Edwards inbounds to the backcourt to Des Watson. Watson for Miles Rubin, top of the key. Matt Zona on him. Not giving him any room to breathe. Watson down low for Rubin, gets the roll and the foul. Miles Rubin with a huge play at the rim. And he'll go to the free throw line for one more. That makes it a 4-point Loyola Chicago lead. It's 63-59.
I mean, that's hands-back defense textbook out of Rivera. I don't know what they're looking for.
And Rubin, not the best free throw shooter at 60%. And he's 0 for 2 from the line in this game. A big free throw here as the gym hushes. Rubin knocks it down. 64-59 Loyola Chicago, 3:17 to go. Second half. Referee talking over at the scorer's table, halting play.
Time.
A timing issue. And Fordham will inbound here in the backcourt, 3:17 to go. They're down by 5. Crunch time here for the Rams, trying to pick up their first Atlantic 10 win of the season. Medor out to the far wing for Jackie Johnson. Zona, the screen up high. Johnson looking to drive, lost the handle with it. Johnson lost it out of bounds. Last touch off of Jackie, that's going to be a turnover. Loyola Chicago basketball, 2:59 to go second half. And we're going to need to start stacking some stops together on the defensive end. Watson into the front court for the Ramblers. Josh Rivera watching him. Watson out to the corner. Edwards will pop the three with Zona in his face. Shot no good, and the rebound will squirt out of bounds. That'll be Fordham basketball. Good contest there from Matt Zona. Got way up there to make it a difficult shot for Edwards. Dean will check in for Riley here. There's 2:38 on the clock. Fordham down by 5.
Big here.
And Josh Rivera will inbound in the backcourt. For Medor. And a whistle here, some confusion. The referee will walk over to the scorer's table. 2:35 on the game clock, maybe a timing issue. The referee signaling that this is his fault, whatever it is. But either way, Fordham are going to need a strong finish here down the stretch. They had the lead for most of this half, but just a 5-6 minute stretch, under 10 minutes where they couldn't put the ball in the basket. And as such, Loyola Chicago with this 5-point lead. Jaffe Medor quickly ahead for the Rams into the front court. Ramad Dean near side wing for Josh Rivera. Out to the far side for Jackie Johnson. For Jaffe Medor. Medor took a bump. Zona the screen up high. Medor looking to penetrate. Rubin down low. Medor circles. He spins, took a bump, and he'll go to the free throw line. 2 shots coming for Jaffe Medor, drawing the contact.
A lot of time off the clock, though. Jaffe, we got to see Zona open for those pick and pops. They're doubling the ball handlers. He missed his 3 earlier tonight, but he's a reliable shooter. You got to be able to get it to your guys that can make those shots.
And it's hard to get down there in the paint and try to get baskets down there with Rubin lurking. Fordham struggling on offense here down the stretch in the second half.
They're in drop coverage all day. You got to be able to find the shooters. Some pick and pops with Rivera and Zona would be huge for the Rams.
2 shots coming for Jaffe Medor. The first is good. It's a 4-point game. 2:15 on the game clock, make it 19 points now for Jaffe Medor. Fordham also are in the bonus now. That's 7 team fouls on Loyola Chicago. So the next foul
huge
will send the Rams to the line no matter where it occurs. Huge second free throw for Medor to cut it to a 1-possession game. Medor gets it to go. Riley's checked in. Johnson is out. A little offense, defense here for Fordham. Down by 3. Watson into the front court. 2:05 on the game clock. Watson straight away for Edwards. Edwards down low, wide open. Zona with the foul. Wakoria got Riley to bite on the pump fake, then went up with it and got blown up by Matt Zona. 2 free throws coming for Francis Wakoria.
Going for the block rather than the contest.
And are they going to go to the monitor for this to look if it's a potential flagrant?
No.
A lot of contact there. And I don't know why else would we be stopping here.
That is a game killer.
And yep, the referees are at the monitor. 64-61 the score, 1:56 to go. Second half, Loyola Chicago, the 3-point lead. This would be a huge potential flagrant foul call. And Matt Zona isn't trying to be, there was a lot of forcible contact, but he wasn't trying to commit a flagrant foul.
No, you got to call unintentional, no flagrant.
And it's just going to be a normal 2-shot foul. And so it'll be 2 shots coming for Francis Wakoria.
So if you're here for the Rams, they go, so you're under 2 minutes. You got to go quick score, and you go back into that 3-2 press. You make sure that your shooters are in their positions. Offensively, the extra pass has been your friend. You got Jackie Johnson out there. He's going to be able to score. We got to get quick down the floor. This is huge for the Rams.
Francis Wakoria, 65% free throw shooter. 2 for 2 from the line so far tonight. And 2 of the biggest free throws of Fordham's season thus far. Trying to keep it as close as they can here, down by 3 with 1:56 to go in the second half. That was the 6th team foul against Fordham, so Loyola Chicago 1 away from the bonus. In the end, it's just a regular 2-shot foul. And Wakoria at the free throw line. The 5 for the Rams is Johnson, Medor, Zona, Rivera, Dean. 2 shots coming as Gentile Arena enters into a hush. First free throw, perfect from Francis Wakoria. Veteran player, scored over 1,000 points for UC San Diego. Has been in these kinds of spots before. Second free throw now as the gym falls silent. Second one rattles home as well. 5-point lead for Loyola Chicago, 66-61. 1:53 to go, second half. Jaffe Medor into the front court. High screen from Zona. Medor up high for Johnson, comes around the screen. He'll launch the 3, no good. Rebound loose, Rivera fighting for it. Rebound, Francis Wakoria. Fordham needed that bucket to go, it didn't. 5-point lead, Loyola Chicago. 1:35 on the clock. At the logo in no hurry is Jaden Dawson.
There's got to be a stop here.
Jackie Johnson watching him closely. Dawson, crossover, drives left, gets inside. Zona went straight up with it, but that's going to be a foul. And 2 shots coming for Dawson.
I don't understand that. He just goes right into him, head down, blocking foul. I guess Zona's feet are moving there. It's an unfortunate call.
So it's a foul called against Matt Zona. 2 shots coming for Jaden Dawson. We mentioned how poor this Loyola Chicago team has been at the free throw line this season. Not tonight. 10 of 12 so far. On cue, Dawson hits one off the heel, no good.
Love an announcer's jinx.
It's the positive announcer's jinx. 1:21 to go, second half, 66-61 Loyola Chicago. Dawson, second free throw's good. It's a 6-point lead. Dean into Medor, 1:20 on the clock. Medor crosses the timeline, and Trey Woodall will call a timeout. 1 remaining now for Fordham. They'll talk things over with 1:18 on the game clock. Chaz, down 6 here. What's the strategy for Trey Woodall?
You got to go 3, a quick one. Get into your horns action, I would say. Find someone early in the shot clock, and then go out in your press. You know what I mean? Go out on your shield. Play some Fordham basketball. Play tough. Play strong. Play the rest of this minute 18 like your life depends on it.
It definitely, I think, needs to be a 3. You just hope they don't settle for a Jackie Johnson hoist from way outside. I'm totally fine with Jackie taking the shot, but I think at this point you don't need that desperation heave just yet. Get points any way you can get it if you're the Rams. Both teams are in the bonus. 67-61 Loyola Chicago, 1:18 to go in the second half. It's going to be Fordham basketball following their timeout. They have 1 remaining, Drew Valentine with 2 left for Loyola Chicago. Rams will inbound just in front of their bench. Josh Rivera with it. Rivera into Medor. Needs to attack early. Medor, crossover, looking to drive. Jaffe gets inside with the left hand, flipped it up, no good. To the ground with it. That's going to be a travel. Fordham basketball. Kuinsu went to the ground with it. They call it travel. Huge break for the Rams to get another opportunity here.
He just couldn't land on his feet.
1:08 to go second half. Fordham need a bucket here. They need it fast, down by 6.
A miracle from the heavens here at the Jesuit Jam.
Rivera inbounds underneath the basket. Rivera needs to get this ball in, gets it to Zona. Handoff for Johnson. Will launch the deep 3 off front rim. No good. Rebound Wakoria. That's the shot I was saying we didn't need in that spot. The deep contested 3 from Jackie Johnson, no good.
Yeah, but you had to go quick.
You had to go quick, especially after the miss on the previous sequence. 50 seconds and ticking. 6-point Loyola Chicago lead. Watson is holding in the front court, using every inch of this clock. 10 on the shot clock. Wants it, drives, gets inside, doesn't get the friendly roll. Batted back out by Rubin. It keeps the possession alive. Medor fouls Watson, or Dawson rather, and he'll go to the free throw line for a 1-and-1 chance. And Chaz, it looks like Fordham's opportunity for their first A10 win is slipping away.
Yeah, it's like sand through your fingers. You just can't. Some of those blown offensive possessions you're going to look back at and think what kind of position the Rams would be in if they didn't do those.
The bench was so fired up earlier, now looks a little bit more dejected. But the free throw miss from Dawson. Zona the rebound, Medor the other way. Medor drives all the way to the hole. He gets it to go. 67-63. The shot clock is turned off. 28 seconds on the game clock. Fordham in their full court press. Wakoria trying to inbound over Dean. Gets it in. That's going to be a foul on Johnson before they could get the ball in. So no time comes off the clock. Foul against Jackie Johnson.
That's good.
And 1-and-1 opportunity here for Loyola Chicago.
Great bucket there by Jaffe. Trying to will the Rams into a win, as we've seen in so many late game situations for the team from the Bronx. A missed free throw here is everything.
28 seconds on the game clock. 67-63 Loyola Chicago. 1-and-1 chance for Jaden Dawson. He got the roll on the front end. Off the front of the rim, off the backboard, off the rim again, and in. 5-point Loyola Chicago lead. And now the crucial second shot from Dawson, trying to get it up to a 6-point lead. Dawson in and out. Zona Rebound to Dean. Medor has to go fast. 25 on the game clock. Medor on the far wing will step back from three. Medor shot no good. Zone of the rebound. Johnson in the corner. He's open. His three no good as well. Rebound Miles Rubin. 14 on the game clock. Up ahead with 10 seconds. They'll try to foul in the backcourt. Rubin up ahead. But they're fouling. The referee's not calling it. He's standing right in front of us looking at it.
Are you
as Fordham are putting their hands on the Loyola Chicago players. And eventually the foul comes in with just 4 seconds on the game clock.
Holy beat the traffic. What is...
Zona was grabbing, Dean was grabbing, and it's going to be free throws here for Watson now in the double bonus for Loyola Chicago, and this one is just about over with them up by 5. Watson gets it to go. You like the looks on that last offensive possession for the Rams, the Medor step back. Jackie wide open in the corner, the shot's just not falling, and Chaz, that's the story of Fordham's season thus far.
Jeffrey Clark missing an absolute obvious call right in front of our eyes.
Both free throws go. There's 2 on the clock. Rivera heaves. He gets it to go from deep. That'll make it a 70-66 final score in favor of Loyola Chicago. Chaz, the Rams fall to 0-6 in the Atlantic 10. Back-to-back heartbreaking losses last week against UMass at home. Now on the road against Loyola Chicago. The Rams had the lead for a large portion of this second half, just couldn't pull things out down the stretch.
That 10-0 run.
It's the 10-0 run.
Was everything. You can't let teams get hot like that at home. It's everything. The Rams, again, every game, they have progressed. They have looked improved. There's no moral victories. We don't do moral victories here. But Rams continue to improve, especially through the adversity of the suspension. A start to the Woodall era that a lot of people didn't expect. Hopefully that drive, that focus, that passion is continued through the next 3 games.
Final score 70-66 Loyola Chicago. Fordham, Jaffe Medor, their leading scorer, 22 points. Jackie Johnson also with 22. Strong showings from them, but it's not enough in the end as Loyola Chicago and their players will come and celebrate in front of the student section. The Rams fall to 8-11 overall, 0-6 in the Atlantic 10. Loyola Chicago improves to 12-7 and 3-3 in conference. The Rams will try to break this slide in conference play on Sunday afternoon against Duquesne from the Rose Hill Gym. That's a 12 p.m. start. You can be there for that one or listen live here. We'll have the call on WFUV 90.7 FM. But that will do it for us here from Chicago. For Nick Guzman, Chaz McAdams, we're saying so long from Gentile Arena. The final score, Loyola Chicago 70, Fordham 66. And we'll send it back to our Rose Hill studios for the one-on-one post-game report with Daniel Melia.
The one-on-one post-game report.
And we are here again in the Bronx after another heartbreaker. Fordham falls to Loyola Chicago on the road, 70-66. The Ramblers take this one. Fordham drops to 0-6 in conference play. And Lou, it just feels like more of the same from the Rams tonight, doesn't it?
Yeah, this is a different type of feeling than the UMass game. And there's been no good feelings in A-10 play so far. You're 0-6, and it's your worst start since the 2017-2018 season. That team went 3-15 in conference play and started 0-8. So if that's the track you're on, that's not very good. But it's a different feeling than the UMass game, because that UMass game they battled, and they had no business forcing triple overtime. They had no business getting out of the first overtime period. They were down 5 with 8 seconds left, and through magic and insane bedlam at the Rose Hill Gym, they were able to force 3 overtimes, and they still lose, but that game just felt crazy and bizarre, and you went, well, maybe that craziness will just inject itself the rest of the way. I mean, it's tough to look at this game and feel good. The offense played, and what stinks is the offense actually did play okay, but they let Loyola Chicago shoot basically 60% from the field in the second half, and they allowed a 10-0 run in the final 8 minutes, and this is just not a Fordham team that can withstand a 10-0 run in the final 8 minutes of gameplay.
Absolutely not. That 10-0 run, and it really was actually a 12-2 run, was just the killer. especially that late in the game, Fordham does not have the personnel, and you said it back there, does not have the personnel to keep up. And to your point about the offense playing well, this is a bit of an uncharacteristic loss from Fordham. Not saying that the loss is uncharacteristic, obviously. 0-6.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. But when you look at the box score, 9 of 25 from downtown, that's 36%. Better than they've shot for most of the season. 13 of 15 from the free throw line. Almost always when I'm here, I end up having the talking point at the end of the game. Well, it's because Fordham just couldn't hit from the line. No, that's 87% today. They get a B+ from the line. What the problem was, and you wonder if this has something to do with Ergo being sidelined, or I suppose not sidelined. Loyola Chicago, as you said, shoots almost 60% in the second half, 52% for the game. Can't happen defensively. Cannot happen. What do you think they needed to change to prevent that from happening in that second half?
I mean, it's so tough. Chaz McAdams would be a lot better suited to answer this question than I do.
I'm sure he'd have thoughts.
It's a lot easier for me to sit up here in the studio or in the broadcast booth and say, Fordham's not playing well defensively. They need to start playing well. If you pose me the question, well, what should they do differently? Unfortunately, I don't know. And that's a question that this coaching staff, you'd hope, would have the answer for. But obviously, we know that it's not that simple. But what we do know is that whatever it is, whether it's the zone not being as effective as it needs to, whether the full court press isn't forcing as many turnovers as it needs to, whether they're just missing assignments, I do think it's a lot of missed assignments and not being on the same page a lot of the time. Loyola Chicago shot 52% today. And again, 60% in the second half. And it's weird. You look at this box score, and man, at least in the individual section, it looks like Fordham's the team that won. Two different players that put up 22, and you look at Loyola Chicago, and the highest player is 13. Edwards, who had a great game, but 11 of those came in the first half. He was pretty quiet in the second half. But the difference is Loyola Chicago collectively just scored the rock, whereas today, it wasn't just Medor and Johnson. Josh Rivera had an excellent game. He hits the three at the end to pad the stats a little bit. But for all intents and purposes, this was an offense dominated by Johnson and Medor, and there just wasn't enough life outside of that. And what Fordham runs into when they get on these runs or these stretches where they're not getting shots to fall, and you see it at the end of the game, they need shots, and they're not hitting them, is the offense becomes bland. And it becomes easy to stop because it's giving the ball to either Medor or Johnson at the wing and essentially saying, hey, go make a play. You might get a screen, but go make a play. They're not really drawing up inventive plays to get guys open. I think that's been a valid critique of this Fordham offense. The playmaking, the plays that they've been drawing up, it just seems very simple. They're not challenging defenses in a meaningful way, and it's an A-10 that has a lot of good defenses. And this Loyola Chicago team is not even one of the better ones. Yeah, this one stinks, man. This one just feels... Some of the other losses, you could chalk up to, hey, it's early in A-10 play. They're still figuring themselves out. Or the ones over the 5-day road trip or the UMass game, you could say, hey, it's a good effort. This one just feels like a team that's not that good losing a game that they didn't win because they're not that good.
Absolutely.
And unfortunately...
Absolutely.
There's a lot of talent on this team. I'm not ready to give up on them just yet, but you're staring down the barrel of an 0-6 start in A-10 play. There are 18 games in conference. The odds that you get back to 500 in conference play are slim to none at this point.
Absolutely, especially with the upcoming schedule, which we will talk about in a little bit. But to some of the points you made, it's easy for us to play Monday morning quarterback from here for sure. However, I do think the box scores tells a bit of a story. A couple things I want to point out. You talked about the importance of hustle at the half, putting yourself in a position to get fortunate. Fordham went into the half with that 18-11 advantage on the glass, 7-2 on the offensive boards. They end up second half getting out rebounded 14-10 and 4-3 on the offensive glass. Just wasn't there. Also, ended up even in steals. For this Fordham team to win, they need to turn over the opponent with steals more than they give up the ball to steals, and they didn't do that today. And finally, I do think the most critical thing is the distribution of scoring. You got 7 guys for Loyola Chicago who scored 6 or more points. Fordham had 3. And those 3 guys were in double digits, but, individual effort was something. So turning to some positives, and then we'll look forward and wrap up here. Obviously, the individual performances, especially I want to highlight Jaffe Medor, were great today from him, Johnson, and Rivera. Jaffe Medor probably had the best game we've seen him have all season, and that is remarkable. Obviously, a great performance from him. Hopefully, something he can build on with momentum. Was there anybody else or anything else you feel like, all right, so we lost this one, but we can take this away, work with it moving forward?
It doesn't show in the box score. I thought Tim Biela was more engaged today.
Defensively, for sure.
Especially defensively, I thought you started to see the player that Fordham's needed him to be. Listen, I like Matt Zona. This was not one of his better games. I do think Matt Zona is a player that can contribute on a successful winning team. But Fordham needs more out of their centers, and Zona is limited athletically in what he can do on the defensive end. That Fordham needs Abdou Timbila to be a rebound eater and a block eater, and he really hasn't been that this season. He has not been the all right, put him in the paint and just forget about it. I thought this was a step in the right direction. I love what I'm seeing from Jaffe Medor. The Jackie Johnson experience is at an interesting crossroads right now. When they were winning games, It was really fun. He's continuing to be a top 5 scorer in the A10, but as the season goes on more and more, and you look at some of the shot selections, you start to wonder about, listen, he's taking a lot of shots, and he needs to be a high-volume scorer in this offense. That there's no doubt about it. You're not going to complain about a guy putting up 22. I do think some of the shots in the final 5 minutes there, Fordham fans have a reason to not be thrilled with them, and then it is a little bit of thorn in the side or, whatever, salt in the wound. He misses the open three after taking a lot of those contested threes. Jackie Johnson is an elite scorer. Make no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That said, I don't think this has been his best stretch. It's crazy to say that after he just put up a career-high 36 points, and he was electric in the overtime period of the UMass game, but consistently his offensive production is not where this team needs it to be, and unfortunately this team needs a lot from their guys that are going to score the rock. So it's a tough spot for him to be into.
Absolutely, and the shot selection was something I mentioned at the half, and unfortunately we just did not see great shot selection from him. Seemed like his shot was off today, and 3 of 11 from downtown really tells the story on that one. Final bit here before we wrap up. Looking ahead for Fordham on the 26th, that's this Sunday, playing the whiteout game against the Duquesne Dukes. Any thoughts on that one? I know you'll be there.
I'll be there. I'll be on the call alongside Nick Guzman, and despite how deflating this game was and how deflating the start of A10 play is, I think that's the last true marker about where's this team going. I think we can give up the dream of them winning the A10. They're not going to win the A10 this year.
And that dream it always was.
They're not going to get a top 4 seed this year, I think it's safe to say.
Yeah.
But there's still a lot to figure out with, all right, are you a day 1 team or are you a day 2 team in the A10 tournament? And what's your future going on from there? If a team gets hot going into tournament play, anything can happen. The A10 is weird, it's deep, and there's not really, at this stage of the game in now late January, a clear favorite. I still can't pick out. I think VCU is pretty good, but I can't pick out a team that I think is going all the way yet. So there's still, it's anyone's game. UMass just won 3 straight. So it's anyone's game right now. That came out of nowhere. I think the stands are going to be packed. It's whiteout.
Hope so.
In years past, whiteout has tended to be a pretty big game, and the fans gravitate toward it, and the energy is pretty good. The last time Fordham was at the Rose Hill Gym, the energy was awesome. So I think there is a certain level of Fordham fans don't always look at the record. They more think about the memories and the vibes once they get in there. I think that's going to take over at the whiteout. And I'll just say, next 2 games are winnable. Duquesne is a beatable opponent. LaSalle on the road, that's a winnable game.
Absolutely.
You go on the road to Bonaventure, that's a different story. If you've built momentum, maybe we'll talk about it. Fordham can win these next 2 games. They could have won today. They could have beat UMass. There's a lot of would-have, could-have, should-haves that are going on here. Eventually, I think Fordham is going to get a win here. This is not a team that should go winless in A10 play, and they have the talent to be competitive here. If they don't win in whiteout with a packed home crowd, we're going to have some very scary conversations about this team that I don't want to have. So I'm manifesting a win on Sunday.
Well, let's hope we don't get there. Once again, final score in this one, Loyola Chicago 70, Fordham 66. Fordham drops to 8-11 overall, 0-6, in A10 play. Loyola Chicago up to 12-7, 3-3 in A10 play. That's going to do it for our broadcast of Fordham Rams men's basketball here on 90.7 WFUV. Our play-by-play man was Nick Guzman. Our color man was Chaz McAdams from Chicago. Here in the Rose Hill Studios, our producer was Owen Kelty. Our engineer was Peter Brito. And our updates man was Lou Orlando. I'm Daniel Melia. Fordham Rams men's basketball is a production of WFUV Sports.